We're live in 2 minutes.
We are CRN.
Stay tuned. We're live in 1 minute. Seconds until showtime. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
I'm your overly competitive brother. I'm ready for a rematch. Game on.
I've been practicing.
What, the cello? You want me to lower the hoop?
Foul.
What, are you going to tell me again?
Foul.
Yeah.
Foul, bro.
Here, take a free shot. Go ahead, knock
I'm
yourself
about to get served.
Seriously?
Get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me. Love you, Mom.
Wait till your father gets home.
Look at you go. The one-trip grocery champ, snooze button resistor, master sock matcher. We know the daily grind can be tough, but amidst the hustle, we see you conquer it all. And at Scooter's Coffee, we believe it's the little wins that deserve some big moments of joy. So go on, embrace that tiny triumph. You master parallel Parker you. Take that victory lap and savor the sweet taste of success. Scooter's Coffee, you didn't just order it, you earned it.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent. We hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
The following is an exclusive broadcast presentation of the Community Radio Network. We are CRN. More details at wearecrn.com.
Beautiful day out here in Greensboro, North Carolina. 54 degrees with a little bit of wind gust. We are perched high atop Jamieson Stadium on the campus of the back-to-back state champion Grimsley Whirlies. I'm Braxton Cutchin alongside Kevin Stump, and we are calling the 78th annual North Carolina Coaches Association East-West All-Star football game. Kevin, how you doing this afternoon? We're doing good right now. To start off, Kevin, you got me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we're doing good now. Yeah, good, beautiful day. Nice ride up here. Not very too much traffic. Got the band playing, warming up. Got teams out on the field warming up. I think it's going to be a pretty good day.
This is our last football broadcast of the calendar year
I just want to have a minute to finish my cold McDonald's from the drive up here that I haven't ate yet.
That's right.
Alan Dietz will be around the corner, so will I. But you guys have got the pregame show, and obviously welcome to Greensboro, Braxton.
That's right. And we're so excited to be back here again. Another year of East-West All-Star football game. These teams are composed of some of the best in the state, guys who are unsigned to schools, getting a chance to showcase their talents on the field, and guys that really don't know each other. Some have been able to play against each other, but they've been working together all week, going to local elementary schools, playing with some of the elementary kids, trying to build team chemistry leading up to this game.
Absolutely, and this is a good team building for all of them and getting them ready to go to college. Because when they get ready to all go to college, they're going to meet all new teammates. All of them, so they're going to be the new kids on the block. So meeting new kids and starting new friendships and learning. And some of these kids might decide to go to the same college together because of them playing with each other on some of these teams. So it's going to be a new learning experience, and hopefully they'll learn some new plays from some of these coaches that have coached other teams and other styles that they're not used to playing on their school's teams or who they've been playing against in their own conferences. So,
right.
It's a learning experience for everybody, coaches too.
And some of these players played just last week. We see some names that we're familiar with from calling the state championship games last week. But some of these guys have had almost a month off of football. So being able to get back into this shape, it's a kind of a tough task for some of these players. But compared to when it used to be in the summer, it's now back in the winter after football season concludes. This could be an interesting day to just see how players are staying in shape, preparing for the football season.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on conditioning and see how it goes. And, the field conditions, the field looks it could be a little bit wet. I haven't been out there yet, so me and you'll be on the sidelines here shortly during the game, so we'll make sure we report and see how the sideline and how the turf field, or how the grass field is when we get down there.
Right, and there's been some rain in the area the past week or so, maybe not as much, but the temperatures have been able to rise, so at least it's not a frozen ground that they're playing on compared to last week when most of the games were in the 30s or below, besides a game or two.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I know you have the West roster for us, so if you want to go ahead and start with the West roster, introduce us to the West squad.
Yeah, starts out with head coach J.K. Atkins from Freedom. Then you got assistant coaches Ryan Habich from Watauga, Brian Henson from Davie County, Sherman Hope from Swain County, Jonathan O'Falant from Lake Norman, and from Grimsley right here is Joe Rigsby. And you got the athletic trainers Jay Davis and Mark White. Then we're going to start out with the West roster, starting out with Adrian Solomon Jr., linebacker from East Forsyth. Then you got Caden Davis, quarterback from Freedom. Ben Bolware, defensive line from Oak Grove. Dominique Tishaboy, defensive back from East Forsyth. Robert McCullum, linebacker from Dudley. Jordan Cleaves, DB wide receiver from Mooresville. Moses Morris, running back from West Forsyth. Aaron Tate, wide receiver, Northeastern Guilford. Ethan Driver, wide receiver from Davie County. Hudson Cooper, right here, wide receiver from Grimsley. Cade Keller, quarterback from Watauga. Bubba Sims, linebacker from Walter M. Williams. Jalen Glover, DB from Lake Norman. Zeke Gillespie, wide receiver from Swain County. Xavier Porter, DB from West Charlotte. Calvin Ramassor, DB from Shelby. Gavin Gibson, DB from Independence. Jeremiah Deese, DB from Northern Guilford. Another Worley right here, Tyree Milner, linebacker. Chance Cruz, linebacker from Northern Guilford. Eli Faulkner, kicker from Oak Grove. Leo Hausch Ratchich, linebacker from Reagan. Amari Akers, running back from Northern Guilford. Jason Arrowwood, tight end from East Rutherford High School. Rob Lang, defensive lineman from Northwest Guilford. Camden Gillespie, defensive end from Mooresville. Issa Evan, offensive lineman from Reagan. Joshua Terry, offensive line from Statesville. Drew Skaggs, defensive line from Swain County. Brian Livenmuth, offensive line from Watauga. Andrew Wright, offensive line from South Point. Aiden Black, defensive line from J.M. Robinson. Then you got Jaden Goodman, offensive line from Murphy. Keenan Cathrell, defensive line from West Forsyth. Rashad Swinton, offensive line from Hickory. And last but not least, Jamari Williams, offensive line from Palisades High School.
And that will round out the West roster. Thank you, Kevin. A couple things stand out to me when you look at that West roster. One of the things I noticed off the bat was Ben Boulware, who reminds me of the linebacker from Clemson with the exact same name. Yeah. So that's a name that pops out, a national champion linebacker for the Clemson Tigers. But another thing that stood out to me is how many Grimsley Whirlies there are with them playing at their home field. They've got a couple of guys on here, and for no, there's no reason they shouldn't be on here. I mean, this was a talented team, back-to-back state championships, 7A state title just last week when they played the Clayton Comets, who we are very familiar with, led by quarterback Faison Brandon, who is going to Tennessee. But this Grimsley Whirlies team isn't just Faison Brandon. They've got athletes all over the field, and you can see that by the roster.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, y'all were broadcasting the game, and I was at the Clayton game last week, and Hudson Cooper, he's a very good wide receiver. For him to be unsigned, that's, he's going to have a lot of options when it comes to spring national signing day. So I have a feeling he's going to get his due come spring signing day.
And then we also see the coach from Watauga, Coach Hobbick there. We talked to him last week, and his Watauga team looked really good last week, really poised, and now he also has a state championship on their belt. So 2 state champion coaches on that West staff as well. So I expected this West team to be very sharp and very disciplined as well.
Absolutely.
We also have the East coming up, and that's going to be head coached by Jason Battle from Rocky Mount, Will Bland from J.H. Rose, Pat Bird from Jacksonville, Scott Loosemore from Fairmont, Benjamin Penny from Triton, and Jonathan Sherman from Grays Creek. The athletic trainers are Sadie Thomas from Ashley and Nick Braley from Calvary Day. And to go over the athletes from the East team, number 1, Joshua McBride, the running back from St. Paul's. Number 2, Taquan Ellerby Jr., the wide receiver from Red Springs. Number 3, Javante Brooks, the wide receiver from Jack Britt. Number 4, Marcus Williams, the defensive back from Sanderson. Number 5, Daquan Anthony, the wide receiver from Grays Creek. Number 6, Geronimo Sanchez, the quarterback from Cape Fear. Number 7, Riley Robinson, the defensive back from Croatan. Number 8, Yandez Baker, the defensive back from Jacksonville. Number 9, Alexander Chapman Evans, another defensive back from Enlow. Number 11, Machias Jones, the defensive lineman from Rocky Mount. Number 12, Terrence McCormick Jr., a quarterback from New Bern. Number 19, Francisco Garcia Rodriguez. He's going to be the kicker, tasked with the kicking and punting duties this afternoon. And he is going to be from Cape Fear. Tavares Parker, the running back from Rocky Mount. He will wear number 21. Number 23 is going to be Zykeem Patillo, the free safety from Havelock. Number 24 is Kamarion Larry, the defensive back from Martin County. Number 39, Sean Davis, the running back from East Duplin. Number 40, Jalen King, the linebacker from Cleveland, who we've called a couple of his games as well. Number 41, Zeke Reed, the athlete. He's listed, so he's going to be all over the field. He's going to be from Grays Creek. Number 42, Jalen Starks, the linebacker from Hillside. Number 44, Luke Faulkner, the linebacker from Southern Nash. Number 46, Jackson Henry, the linebacker from Jacksonville. Number 48, Zion Wright from New Bern. Number 49, Jude Sirago, the tight end from West Brunswick. Number 55, Kamarion McBride, the nose guard from Red Springs. Number 56, Xavion Hutchinson, the O-lineman from 71st. Number 59, Jaden Whitaker, the defensive lineman from Nash Central. Number 60, Jonte Langley, the offensive lineman from Holmes. Number 62, Tayshawn Bird, the offensive lineman from Overhills. 64 is going to be Jaden McClary, the nose guard from Goldsboro. Number 70, Talon Turnell, the long snapper. He's from Union Pines. Number 73, Chase Felton, the offensive lineman from Farmville Central. Number 74, Nate Robinson, the offensive lineman from Whiteville. Number 76, Donovan Willis, the offensive lineman from Tarboro. Number 77, Donovan Hicks, offensive lineman from Cleveland. We've also done his games as well. A couple Cleveland Rams in the building. 86, Weston Chalk, the tight end from Hoggard. And number 89, Jalen Battle, the defensive lineman from Sanderson High School. So that's going to be your roster for this afternoon's contest. And again, so many, you see a couple duplicate schools on here, the schools that have gone far. We see a couple Cleveland names, and we're very familiar with their roster. We've seen just, a bunch of athletes, and these guys are all, pretty big. We've got numerous kids over 6 foot, and we got some, we got a couple 6'4" guys, a 6'5" guy. And even the smaller athletes, the defensive backs, 5'10", 5'11", they're not necessarily undersized, but a lot of speed for this East roster.
Yeah, and even some of the West guys, it looks like your starting offensive line's averaging about 285, and your defensive line, they're averaging about 285 also. So, it's going to be, it's going to be a pretty good contest with your offensive line from the East. They're averaging about a little bit over 300 pounds. So the offense and the defensive line, it's going to be a real battle. So I think it's going to be a pretty good game to be in the trenches.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about this after the break, but right now you're listening to the pregame show of the 78th Annual North Carolina Coaches Association East-West All-Star Football Game here on the Community Radio Network.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Atwell Exterior Services, the time is now. With mortgage interest rates up, so many smart homeowners are renovating rather than moving right now, and those who hire Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville are thrilled that they did. For residential roof replacement, roof repairs, roof inspections, and more, done right by a local family business with awesome customer reviews, please visit AtwellEXTServices.com or call to set up a free inspection. Atwell Exterior Services, honesty, integrity, experience. The time is now.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And we're back from break. Again, the 78th Annual North Carolina East-West All-Star Game from Grimsley High School at Jamieson Stadium. One of the things we're going to recap is last week's state championship games as well, and then what will lead us into kickoff when toe meets leather here at Jamieson Stadium. To recap last week, in the 1A game, Wilson Prep with the state title with their 9-8 win over Robbinsville. We were on the call for that one, where Wilson Prep attempted their first field goal attempt all year, and that was eventually the winner. Then we also had the 2A game, Tarboro with a 22-0 win over Murphy. The 3A Shelby, 84 points in a win over Kinston, 84-41, which was a scoring record for state championship games, and we were on that call. You want to talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah, I was there, and like we talked about that game whenever we were there last weekend. I mean, that was a complete barn burner. Like we made a few calls. It was like we were watching a Madden video game or an NCAA 2K video game. It was like point after point after point. You turn around and blink, it's a 2-touchdown or 3-touchdown lead. It was just an amazing thing to be a part of, and I'm glad that I can say that we were the radio broadcast of the most points scored in a state championship game of all time. I think that's just pretty awesome.
I mean, that was insane, and it was 125 points scored in that game.
Yeah.
The previous record was set back in 1914 when Riley beat Asheville. I think it was 117 or 117-0.
To nothing, yeah.
And which was crazy to think about that now in
Back
today's
at that
game.
part, yeah.
But in 1914, Raleigh will put a little mercy rule, if you will, on the Asheville squad.
I mean, that's just as crazy as that 222-0 Georgia Tech game.
Georgia Tech and Cumberland. My dad being a Georgia Tech fan, he likes to bring that up numerous times.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I got him this year with NC State beating them inside in Raleigh at Carter Finley this year.
Oh, yeah.
But the 4A game, Reedsville with a 50-20 win over Brevard. And then the 5A game, which you were also on the call for with me, the Crest Chargers beating Hunt 31-14. Talk about that one a little bit. We had Crest had future Virginia quarterback in the game, and it felt like he was slinging it all over the yard.
Yeah, it was like he could do no wrong. He pinpointed his targets, and I mean he could not miss. He was on top of his game, and that's why he's going to where he's going.
And it felt like that game was just full of ACC commits. You look out, there were NC State guys, Duke guys, Virginia guys. Felt like there were ACC commits all over the field. And that's the thing we see in these state championships. And the thing that's great about this game, it gives these athletes an opportunity who are unsigned or if they've got schools looking, hey, here's some more film of me. This is what I can do, even when thrown into a situation where I don't know these guys.
Yeah, and I mean, it's another, D2, D3 schools to come look at these guys. It gives all these, smaller schools the opportunity to look at everybody and give everybody a chance to shine, since they're not signed.
Yeah, and then the 6A game, Watauga, with a 47-25 victory over the Middle Creek Mustangs. And I was on the call for that one on the sideline. I was down there on Wataaga's sideline, and man, that just was a team that was just a well-oiled machine. It felt like there was no, empty patch, or no hole in that team to where it was like, here's a weak spot that we can exploit. It felt like Middle Creek had a couple momentum plays, but they really could never get into the dent. I mean, they were able to score early and hang with Watauga, and then Watauga was able to kind of pull away, and they had a couple guys that just went off. They had a player that had 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one of those being a pick 6, and that was just kind of the fate for Middle Creek was sealed. They tried to muster a comeback late, but just a little too late. The 7A game, Grimsley and Clayton, we discussed that a little bit. 24-14, the Grimsley Whirlies, who are the host site for today's game and have been for the last couple years now, they were able to mount a 24-14 victory. I know you want to talk about that one a little bit because you were there. I know sometimes you don't want to talk about that one a little bit, but if you could.
Yeah, I was in the stands for that game, a little bit better perspective. It was a good game. Clayton made they turned the ball over too many times, made too many mental errors with penalties and stuff like that. But, they did a great job of making it that far. Coach Chadwick and all of his staff did a good job. And, that's a testament to what he's doing and building his staff there. So, but, there's always next year, and they made it. They won the East, so we'll have to see what he can pull off for next year.
That's right. And one of the things that was kind of lost in that game was the fact that Clayton's defense held Grimsley to 0 offensive points in the second half. The only touchdown that Grimsley scored in that second half was a pick 6 thrown by Aiden Smalls.
Yep.
And I guarantee you Aiden would be kicking himself right now if wishing he could have that one back.
Absolutely.
But I will say Coach Bennett Jones had that defense very well prepared.
Yep, had them dialed in.
And now for the final game, which I was also on the call for, was Huff with a 21-0 victory over Middle Creek. Yeah, and then we had a couple games over in Hickory as well that we've already talked about. But we also had Huff, and that team was just so talented. They had guys coming to Miami. They had a bunch of ACC recruits as well on that squad, and it felt like they could do no wrong. They were slinging the ball over the yard. They were established in the line of scrimmage, and it felt like Millbrook just... I don't know if Millbrook didn't have their A game or if Huff was just that good. It was kind of a discussion that leads up, and Millbrook left some points out there that they wish they could kind of get back. But at the end of the day, Huff walks away with a state championship, and that was your sum up of the state championship games. But now the players are walking back to the locker rooms. We're going to have a pregame for you in a few minutes where Wesley Allen and Alan Dietz will be on the call for this game. Kevin Stupp and I will be on the sideline, and Bree Ramey's going to be on production and the camera. So it's going to be a good one. I'm excited for this one. If you had to give some keys to the game, especially with, being with a new group of guys that you haven't been with all year, some you maybe have played against, what would you say would be the key for this game for these guys to lock in and try and come out with a victory?
It's just going to be precision. They're just going to have to, probably the first quarter, they're probably going to have to work through some stuff. Like you said earlier, they've had to practice, and they've worked with middle school kids, and, they've practiced here and they've practiced there, but, they've all not ever, been able to stay together.
Yep.
And we're going to lead right now into the national anthem.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to go to public address for the national anthem. and that was the national anthem presented to you by the marching band down on the field. We've got a couple minutes till toe meets leather, but one of the things I also wanted to go over was the fact that I think the line of scrimmage is going to be crucial in this game, especially when you got a team that lacks chemistry. If a defensive line can get a lot of push up front and can be able to exploit some areas, this could be a low-scoring game. But on the flip side, we've also seen it where miscommunications can happen, and you can let some deep balls up down the field.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a defensive battle myself. All time the West leads over the East. They're at 42-32 and with 2 ties. So, I think it's going to be, like I said, a defensive battle. Like I was saying before the national anthem, I think it's going to be, the first quarter they're going to be feeling each other out. And then the second quarter it'll be a little bit more competitive. And then I think the second half, then it's going to really start to be, you'll really see a whole lot more competitive championship level football, and then the crowd I think will start getting into it, and then I think you're going to have a really good football game.
One of the trends we've kind of seen over the past couple East-West All-Star games that we've called is there's that feeling out process, but then teams can kind of move their way down the field those first couple of drives. But in that second half, the defense finally gets their footing, and they can finally plant their feet in the ground, pin their ears back, and they kind of figure out what the offenses for both squads are doing. But then there's usually one offense that prevails, and I don't know which one that'll be today or if that game's going to follow that trend. But the past couple years, it has definitely followed that trend. But one of the things I also want to talk about is we have all-star cheerleaders as well. They get to be a part of this, and it's not just the football team and the coaches and the trainers. The cheerleaders also get to be a part of it, so that's a special thing for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a special honor for the cheerleaders also because, they do their thing during the year, and they don't get enough, recognition for that. So, it's a very special honor for them to get to do this also.
And the players look to be lining up on their side of the end zones. We've got the away team wearing the white jerseys with the blue numbers, gray pants, and that's going to be the East squad. And for the West, they're going to be wearing the red jerseys, the white numbers, and the gray pants. And they're going to be soon going to their respective sidelines making their entrances. And just again, what an honor this is to be able to play in this game. You've got folks playing in the Shrine Bowl. You've got this. There's so many different things, but this is, again, such an honor.
And then going back, just to reiterate on that, with the cheerleaders, you got North Pitt High School and Rocky Mount High School cheerleaders for the East. And on the West cheerleaders, you got Athens Drive High School and Freedom High School. So, give a little shout out to those cheerleaders because they really deserve to be known for that too. And you also have Northeastern and Northwestern Guilford were the bands, so that's a real honor for those bands also too. So, it's a special day for the football players, but you need to give special recognition to all of those cheerleaders and band members too, because they work their tails off during the year just like everybody else does. So special shout out to them also.
Absolutely. And I can say I was in marching band back in high school, and it's a rigorous schedule. You have to be able to parades, football games, competitions. It is a tough schedule, and for them, they're on Christmas break now, and being able to still come out here on a Sunday and perform. Huge shout out and a huge honor for them as well, being able to come out here and do this, because it really is special, and it gives it more of that high school football game feel. Being able to have the marching bands, being able to have the cheerleaders, it feels like it's just another game for these football players.
That's exactly right, and it's a chance for them to get to play, a daytime football game on a Sunday. And you also going to shout out to the referees. This is going to be an all-star ref crew. That's just like all the state championship games. Right. They're going to pick the best of the best. So it's a special honor for the crew that's going to be calling this game today too.
Yeah, and I was talking to a couple of the officials at the state championship games, and it was freezing, and I promise you, they did not like being out there in the cold. But they said, I hate being out in the cold, but I've got the stuff to wear because this is such an honor to be able to call state championship games with some of the best athletes, in the state and much less some of the country. And you've got people that will play in this game and then go on to the next level in college, and some that will even go on to the professional level. So being able to participate in these games and with these student athletes, and I say student first because that is their main priority, and athlete is secondary.
That's exactly right. And you never know. Some of these kids, Wesley knows about me, and back in 22, I had my heart attack. You never know. Some of these kids out here could possibly become doctors one day and save somebody like me, you never know. These kids are, like you said, they're students first, academics come first, and, they aren't all going to go to play at the next league or the next level or whatever. They could be doctors, nurses, our next police officers, firefighters, educators to teach the next generation. So, yes, it's great that they're the all-stars and for football, but they're also all-stars in the classroom also. So, everything's going to go good, and it's a real honor, and we're all real proud of them for all the accomplishments that all the student athletes and cheerleaders and band members and parents too, for that matter, for everything they've done to get their child here.
Yeah, 100%. The parents should be extremely proud of what their student athletes and their children have been able to do by getting to this game. Like we said, Greensboro, North Carolina, Jamieson Stadium, on the campus of Grimsley High School. The Whirlies are reigning back-to-back state champions. It is 54 degrees, a little overcast. Again, a lot warmer than what we had last week. One of the things I also wanted to keep touch on real quick was the kicking situation. I mean, we're going to have wind gust, up to 12 miles an hour. So being able to kicking situations. We saw that yesterday if you watched the Miami-Texas A&M college football playoff game. Wind certainly plays a factor when trying to settle for points. Feels like neither team wanted to make a field goal in that contest yesterday. But luckily, no rain in the forecast, and that's not to say because, North Carolina weather, anything can happen at any given time. But soon, coming up, we're going to have Wesley Outland and Alan Dietz on the call up here in the booth. And it's going to be exciting. I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite games to do of the year. And Kevin Stump, you're going to be on the west sideline. Myself, Braxton Cutchin, I'm going to be covering the east, and Bree Ramey down there on productions and the camera. She's done an awesome job. She was with us last week for the state championship games over at Durham County Memorial Stadium.
Absolutely, yeah, she did a fantastic job. This will be my first time announcing this game. I've done sideline reporting for Wesley. We've worked together. We went to school together, played football together. So I'm like you. I'm very excited because it's my first time doing this. So I'm ready for them to, put the helmets on, flip the coin, and let's get this thing started because I'm ready to start announcing some football.
With that being said, we're going to go to the break, but when you come back, you're going to hear the voices of Wesley Outland and Alan Dietz. They're going to get you ready to kick off the 78th Annual North Carolina Coaches Association East-West All-Star Football Game. That was Kevin Stump you were listening to, and I'm Braxton Cutchin. And we're going to go to the All-State pregame kickoff, and we're going to be right back after this. You're listening on the Community Radio Network.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem because I like Johnny. Now I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all OMG. Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone needs resources, whether stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat. All right, come here. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the back seat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
From Greensboro, North Carolina, this is the 78th North Carolina East-West All-Star Football Game on the Community Radio Network.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
Your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Friday night family fun starts here.
Your green flag on America's favorite bull ring.
Wake County Speedway is Raleigh's home for exciting NASCAR short track racing.
Trouble up in turn number 3.
The cars, the crowds, the throaty rumble of engines. All eyes on the green flag. Get the full schedule of races at WCSpeedway.com.
They're coming to the checkered flag.
Wake County Speedway, just 10 minutes south of downtown Raleigh off US 401.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent. We hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
The following is an exclusive broadcast presentation of the Community Radio Network. We are CRN. More details at wearecrn.com.
So good to be back in Greensboro, North Carolina. The 78th edition of a North Carolina East-West All-Star Game. The best football players that are undecided on their aspirations for the future, for college. Preparing for one more opportunity to battle it out on the gridiron, ready to go for today's afternoon's matchup. And we are so excited that you are joining us, ready for this one on the Community Radio Network. It is coverage of the East versus West. Braxton Cutchin and Kevin Stump did a phenomenal job to set the stage. And now, with less than 6 minutes away from kickoff at Jamieson Stadium on Joe Franks Field, the home of the three-time and back-to-back state champion Grimsley Whirlies, we're ready for a great day of football. Wesley Outland, Alan Dietz alongside. Now, here's the cool thing. Me and Alan Dietz have known each other for close to 20-plus years. It got to be 25 close. It's got to be around there. 2002, I think, is the first time we ever worked with one another. But we've never called football. You love football.
Love it.
I reached out to you and asked you to work with Josh Schreiber in Hickory for the state championships, and we got you here for the All-Star Game. How you been, man?
I've been great, and I'm looking forward to it. We've talked about it a lot through the pregame show, and you got a great bunch of kids here from the East and West. The last time that they're going to play high school football here in North Carolina. Some will go on to college. Others, this will be the last time they ever play organized football. So it'll be an emotional day for them and for these parents and fans here this afternoon as well.
Hey, you hear the crowd right now in a crescendo as Public Address is introducing each player one by one, and obviously the stage is set for this matchup. You've got players here, Alan, that are a talented bunch of players, but they're undecided, right? That's the deal. They're undecided of what they want to do for their future. And maybe they want to go to a college football, Division I, Division II, Division III for that matter. Nothing wrong with junior collegiate sports. We covered it on CRN for years. But with that being said, you got to get noticed. And to get noticed is here tonight in Greensboro.
Well, you've definitely got scouts here around the field. And, being here in Greensboro, you're centrally located. You're close to Elon, but, of course, NC State, Wake Forest, North Carolina, Duke, East Carolina, Appalachian. I mean, again, it's centrally located. And, we talked a little bit about it last week in the state championship games up in Hickory. With the NIL the way that it is now, I think you're going to see more and more of these kids, especially from smaller schools, go to a Division II or III school, go to a junior college, even go to an Elon. Look at what the coach is doing right now for Indiana coming from Elon. I mean, that's the way I think we're going to see things develop here over the next few years as we still try to get used to this NIL era in college football.
Undecided, I think, is the appropriate term, and the transfer portal and all the things that have happened along the way has made it where you got kids in high school. Okay, hints. Brandon Faison, he's going to Tennessee next week after the holidays and Christmas to prepare for the Volunteers in football. The star quarterback of Grimsley. Clayton, Aiden Smalls, him and Keyshawn Stansel are going to NC State and Miami literally after the Christmas break to prepare for their college endeavors. But some of these players right here, if you're not committed to a college or if you've got a college looking at you, this is your chance to finally say, here's my opportunity to show you what I can do. This is why I need you to say, let's give this guy a scholarship and play for his school.
Yeah, we had a kid last week in the state championship games that's going to Oregon, and
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like an NFL player out there. He was not just tall like an NFL player, but big and thick like an NFL player, and I think he'll make an immediate impact up in Oregon. As I said, the other thing that we'll have to watch in today's game is these guys, these coaches, none of them are familiar with playing with one another. Who was able to get a good weekend practice this week and maybe go out and take advantage of it? Or we're going to see maybe some turnovers here early on because there's some really, really good players on the defenses of these East and West squads.
90 seconds away, if you will, from getting all the opening ceremonies and the kickoff underway for the 78th edition of the North Carolina East-West All-Star Game. Want to say thank you again to Phil Weaver, all the amazing people behind the North Carolina Coaches Association. Alan Dietz, we started this in the summer of 2021. It is now 2025. This is our 5th time covering football, and it is a privilege, pleasure, and honor. We did the state championships last week. We're doing this one, and obviously it is going to be a fun one. Let's go now to our All-State sideline reporters. As always, it is presented by All-State, reminding you you're in good hands. We hear from Kevin Stump and Braxton Cutchin next.
I'm your overly competitive brother. I'm ready for a rematch. Game on.
I've been practicing.
What, the cello? You want me to lower the hoop?
Foul.
What, are you going to tell me again?
Foul.
Yeah.
Foul, bro.
Here, take a free shot. Go ahead, knock
You're
yourself
about to get served.
Seriously?
Get Allstate. Save money and be protected from mayhem. Like me. Love you, Mom.
Wait till your father gets home.
Let's go down on the field here at Jamieson Stadium and bring in the man that'll be covering the East All-Stars, Braxton Cutchin. Good afternoon, sir. Great job at the pregame show. And what are you going to be watching? Some of these East players, what are you going to be seeing to see hopefully the East beat the West in this All-Star game of 2025?
And thank you. One of the things I'm going to be looking for down here is just some camaraderie and a lot of communication, and to see which team communicates more. Because Kevin and I talked about this pregame with them not knowing each other. Communication is going to be key, so that's one thing I'm going to be looking for. And to touch Alan said earlier about these kids going to JUCOs and going to these smaller schools. You see that with Cam Ward, especially, who's now the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. Started off JUCO, worked his way up, went to Washington State, then was able to get over to Miami, and is now the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. So that is definitely becoming a more popular route that you're going to see in some, routes that some of these players could definitely be taking.
And now joining us covering the West All-Stars for our All-State Sideline Report, they'll be adorning the, of course, blue and white jerseys. And actually, they're the home squad, but they're actually, normally you don't see white jerseys as home colors. But no. Kevin Stump, you ready, buddy? Good afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. The West looks like they're going to have a pretty good squad. They're, like me and Braxton were talking about in the beginning, their offensive line and defensive line, they're about the same size. So it's going to be a battle of the trenches. And like we talked about in the pregame, it's going to be, feeling out process the first quarter, try to limit the penalties. And then the second half, I think it's going to be a really good football game. But, like we talked about earlier, it's going to be a low-scoring game, I have a feeling.
It seems like in years past, Alan, no doubt about it, where you normally would have the guys in the white jerseys as the away squad. Not the thing this year. East is white jerseys. They're the home squad, if you will, kind of like a basketball game.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at some of these linemen on the West, and you can physically see the size that these kids have got. Drew Skaggs, Brady Lindenmuth, 6'4" and 6'5". J'Anthony Gooden, 6'5", Rashad Swinton, 6'4", Jamari Williams, 6'3". I mean, there's some big kids there, up and over 300 pounds. So those West linemen are going to be hard to hold off on either side of the ball, I'd say.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one indeed as we should be ready for kickoff, but they are still introducing the players for this game, for, of course, the 78th North Carolina East-West All-Star Game. But, by the way, Coach Darryl Brown of the Grimsley Whirlies is beside us in the main media box. Big props to them. I think he's in his 10th or 11th year coaching here at Grimsley. 3 state championships. Make it 4 if you count the one that was vacated back in 2022 after that game to, of course, New Bern. But the Grimsley Whirlies football squad, they have caught fire. Grimsley here at Jamieson Stadium, they have just done a phenomenal job in the last couple of years in football.
Well, you were talking earlier before we went on air about how many people you can get in this stadium. And, if you're a race fan and you're familiar with Bowman Gray Stadium, I mean, seriously, either sideline can seat a ton of folks. The only difference between here and Bowman Gray is you don't have stands in the
right.
end zone sections, but you can get a lot of folks in here. And yeah, Grimsley, this is a great stadium. They've done a great job over the years. And one other thing we talked about last week in Hickory during the state championship games is. Again, for better or worse, I don't know that it's necessarily a good thing, but kind of like the NIL. I mean, this is something that's been going on in high school football for years. But
sure.
You got kids moving into zip codes just so they can play for certain schools. Again,
no, you're right.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's part of it now, and. I wouldn't be so sure that you got some more high school coaches here maybe looking at a couple of players that, live on the edge of certain zip codes that they might say, hey, you might want to find an apartment over here or something, get over here and come play with us next year.
We are not promoting illegal recruiting in any shape or form. No, but listen.
I mean, it happens.
You're exactly right. But the thing is this, though. If you're a college out there, your recruiters, you're watching, if you're a player that's on the cusp of getting an opportunity to being signed and you're not signed, or, you got an opportunity from across the state, okay? Listen, Clayton football player, River Fiore, tight end, he was going to play in the All-Star game. Well, guess what happened because of his phenomenal playoff prowess? He got signed to North Carolina Central, meaning he had to bow out. He could not play in this All-Star game. It is all about players to get discovered, and that is what the North Carolina Coaches Association and all that they've done with Phil Weaver and company have been all about with this All-Star game for now going on the 78th commencement in a few moments.
Yeah, and these All-Star games all over the country are huge for coaches and recruiters to come out and fill out rosters as they look ahead to 2026. It's hard to believe because we just got through the state championships and the first round of the college football playoffs, but 2026 started probably 2 months ago for a lot of these squads looking towards next year. And again, there's some kids that maybe some coaches, some recruiters are teetering on, and a big performance out of today's game could go a long ways to determining where they end up next year.
Along the way as well, my good friend, Mr. Earl Vaughn will be giving me information, as always, via text. It's always great to talk with the PR man. We literally are on the air, and he communicates and sends me stats and information along the way. And, but I'll tell you what, the state championship games, I know it was the first time that they done it in Durham at Lenore-Rhine. You were there at Hickory with Josh Schreiber.
Which that's a beautiful stadium.
It really was.
Man, it is.
I mean, it was a great atmosphere, it looked like, from what I saw. And obviously, there's a lot of players okay, so here's the deal. If you go to the state championship or if you commit to a college, you have to bow out. Mm-hmm. And that's why it took literally so long to try to set up this roster. Now let me emphasize, if you win a state championship, you don't have to bow out, but it's if you're committed to a college. But can you imagine how wore out Grimsley or Clayton or any of the other, Tarboro, Murphy, Hunt, Shelby, all the teams that made it into state, Wilson Prep, you name it, any of these guys that made it, and they wore out from the playoffs, right?
I know Shelby's tired.
My goodness. Kevin and Braxton, we were talking about that. I mean, it felt like it was exciting at first, Alan, then all of a sudden it was like throw, touchdown, throw, touchdown. It looked like it was just Madden football on a video game the way these guys were playing it.
Yeah, I felt for sure we might see 100 on the scoreboard for the winning team, and it did end up being over 100 as far as the combined score went. But that game took forever with so many big plays. They didn't run the ball that much. So
let's check in with our All-State sideline reporters as the captains are making their way at midfield here at Grimsley on the Crown Grass Field at Joe Franks Field here at Jamieson Stadium. And Braxton, anything that you want to add to that? Obviously, the elation of playing multiple weeks from the season to the second season of the playoffs, going to the state championship. Some of these guys on this roster have gone to the dance, right? They either won their runner-ups, and now they're preparing to saddle up and either play in the Shrine Bowl yesterday or the 919-252 game yesterday, and, of course, the final football game of North Carolina football today at the East-West All-Star game.
Yeah, that was one of the things we touched on in pregame, was the fact that some of these guys are just still in conditioning. They're still in the right shape. They played last week, and, it's another week for them. On the other hand, there's some other guys whose season ended a little bit earlier, so they've had to maintain keeping in shape, or some might get a late notice, hey, we need you in this game because this person backed out. I hope you're in good shape. And so that's something we're going to try and keep an eye on today.
Kevin Stump, you want to add anything more to that, my friend, on the sideline for the West All-Stars?
Yeah, I was just going to add, I was out there listening to the coin toss. West won the coin toss and has deferred to the second half.
There you go. So the coin toss will go to the West team, but they are going to obviously put the defense out there, and that might be the best thing to show what you got out of the gate here, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about maybe some of the size advantage that the West has over the East. We'll see how that all plays out, but I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and they always defer to the second half. And that's a big deal, because if you can finish that first half strong and then double up and come back and get points in that the start of the second half, you could take a tight game and all of a sudden open up, a 10, 14-point lead.
How cool is this? Overcast, cloudy conditions here in Greensboro, 54 degrees. The sun starting to poke out of the west end zone of the field house. A perfect afternoon for football.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a few days here before Christmas, and as we said, these schools, these bands, the players, everybody, stepping up here while they're out of school, cheerleaders to come out and get one more football game in here in 2025.
Well, we hope you're ready for this one. It should be a good one. The East-West All-Star game for the 78th time. Kickoff, and we're underway in Greensboro.
Muff the kickoff right off the bat. Looked like that was number 8, Yondez Baker, out of Jacksonville.
Yeah, Yondez Baker.
Hit him right in the numbers.
Defensive back at 5'9", 170 pounds, and that is not the way you want to start things coming out of the gate, if you will.
Well, if anything, the ball, they were not able to get down and cover it. The West was very quickly, and the ball went straight out of bounds. But the bad thing is, as I said, the West had not gotten down there. I think he was looking downfield and could have gained some pretty good field position. Instead, I think they're going to be starting inside their 10-yard line.
Yeah, this is not the way if you want to for the East All-Stars to start this game.
Looks like on the 6th, maybe.
Wow. Put yourself in a Weird predicament right out of the gate. You do not want to do that, if you will, Braxton Cutchin covering the East All-Stars. That's not the way to start.
No, not ideal at all, but get a couple on the ground here early, being able to try to establish the line of scrimmage, see what push you can get up front. So the East is going to have a tough task on their first drive, but we'll definitely serve them well if they can keep this up.
Joshua McBride with a pickup of maybe one.
You talk about a big season this year. 181 yards per game almost at St. Paul's, 27 touchdowns. They had a heck of a year this year, but only a couple of yards there that time.
Quarterback with a high snap. It'll be a keeper as he works his way from the 5 to the 10, the 15. He cuts the corner, and he finds his way all the way to about the 30-plus yard line. What a return by the QB1 starter for the All-Star game for the East, Geronimo Sanchez from Cape Fear.
Yeah, big 6'3", 225-pound quarterback, and had 60% completion percentage this year, had 10 rushing touchdowns. You saw right there just how good a runner he is.
We'll move the chains. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the East All-Stars in their opening series. Quarterback, Sanchez, gets the handoff. He'll go up the middle. And here's something to think about, Alan. I know this is your first All-Star game here in Greensboro. You've got a team of players and coaches that are all across the state from the East and the West. They meet like maybe Wednesday or Thursday of this week, and they have 3-4 days amongst all of the other social gatherings and banquets and dinners to prepare to have a game plan, if you will, for this All-Star game.
Looked like Tavoris Parker was on that last carry. Now a pass from Geronimo Sanchez complete.
That was to number 3 of Javante Brooks, the Jack Britt 6-foot wide receiver. And you're just moving the football. And listen, Mark Coach says it all the time. We heard it at the state championship last week. 2 here, 3 here, 4 there. You're just moving the football, and eventually that'll add up to 10 yards.
Well, it's 3rd down right now, and looks like they've got about 6 or 7 yards to go to the East All-Stars. What are they going to do here? Are they going to go to the air, or is Geronimo Sanchez going to try to run it himself again?
And we'll keep an eye on it as Sanchez will run on his own. He's wearing the yellow helmets, and he will be past the first down marker. So on a 3rd and about 4, he moves up the middle. QB keeper for the QB out of Jack Britt. I'm out of Cape Fear. Geronimo Sanchez. This guy's 6'3", 225 pounds. It's a first down.
Yeah, and he did a good job. He rolled out to his left, and I think kind of fooled the defense a little bit to think that maybe he was going to throw the ball, and ended up turning it inside and getting a good gain to get that first down.
So a 1st and 10. And they drop the ball. Fumble, pick it up. Geronimo will. Bob's one off the grass that picked up there. Finally going to get around midfield on the play.
Well, he fumbled.
That was a muffed play from the get-go, and they got something out of nothing with number 6 of Sanchez again.
He fumbled the snap and was able to pick it up, and I thought it was a forward pass, but because the ball hit the ground, but looked like they're going to credit that as a backwards pass to number 23, Zakeem Patillo.
Yeah.
And was able to actually gain some yards there.
The free safety from Havelock. These are the East All-Stars. And
look out.
We've been mentioning teams. Oh, boy, it's a fumble. As Sanchez Geronimo loses the football, they get back on the football. Number 73. Chase Felton from Farmville Central. The offensive lineman stepping up for quarterback Sanchez to keep the drive alive.
Well, Rob Lang from the West came on his blind side.
I think there's a flag on the play.
He was able to get him and get the sack and that strip fumble. The East was able to fall back on it, but Rob Lang out of Northwest Guilford, he's had 6.7 tackles per game this year, 6.5 sacks. And did a good job there. They just about got that ball. Looked like maybe a unsportsmanlike on the East.
Yeah, it's a penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct on the East All-Stars. That's going to back them up.
It's going to back them way up.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to put you all the way back. What? That's a 15-yard penalty. You're going to go all the way back to the 19-yard line or around the 20.
Yeah, and the problem for them now is they've got to get to the 46 of the West, so that's huge loss there, and they had a pretty good drive going here. Now you got to think on third and extremely long, over 30 yards, about 35 yards to get the first down, that might see a screen or something like that just to gain some yards back and maybe be able to get a good punt off to pin the West back. But that was a huge play with the sack and fumble and then the penalty on top of it.
Yeah, and now we'll set up with a big penalty for a long first down, a big throw. It's overshot, and it is almost picked off. It was intended for number 5 of Daquan Anthony. However, 2-man coverage was there for the West All-Stars to make the play, and they're going to bring out the punt unit.
Yeah, it hit Xavier Porter, the defensive back, right in the hands there out of West Charlotte, and another big kid, 6'4", 185 pounds, and he just about had a big interception there. But still, the West is probably going to get the ball here in pretty good field position right now. The punt returner, Jordan Cleaves, back at about his own 45-yard line. So Stud Man's
right
actually
up the
going to take
middle.
it.
It's going to be picked up by the West All-Stars. Number 7, Arian Tate, and Tate's going to move all the way already into perfect field position, and he's in the W Energy red zone on the opening series for the West All-Stars.
He was on the 50-yard line, so that punt,
wow,
a little bit shorter by the east, as it looks like maybe another flag out there, and we'll see.
Yeah, there's a flag about the 45-yard line.
We need to pause for station identification from Greensboro on the Community Radio Network.
This is the Community Radio Network, WCRN, 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Smithfield, North Carolina. Proud to be in the USA. We are CRN.
So out of the gate, a penalty on the West All-Stars, and Arian Tate, Allen, he got the football. A flag was thrown. Thank you, Kevin, for letting us know that. But that takes away the big run that Tate had for the West All-Stars. Back him up at midfield, and wow, jumping early. Another flag on the field.
Yeah, the ball back
That's
now.
a dead ball foul. They couldn't even get the play off. It will move now the West All-Stars up about 5 more yards.
Yeah, they'll get 5 of those yards back, all sides on the east. So now that'll move them into East territory. They'll have the ball on the East 46-yard line to start their first drive of the game.
Ready now with a 1st and 10 after a bunch of penalties, sidelining the West All-Stars. Now a fire. Catch overthrown. That was number 10, Cade Keller from Watauga. Xavier Porter, the intended man from West Charlotte. It is incomplete.
Yeah, he was the one that almost had that interception, and ball just a little bit overthrown there by Cade Keller. You want to talk about a kid who's had a heck of a year. 39 touchdowns for Cade Keller for Watauga. They won the state championship in 6A. Wow. A 3-sport athlete, football, baseball, and basketball.
Talented man indeed. 2nd down now for West. Motion movement again. This time by number 8. It's a fake and it's a QB keeper. Man from Watauga is running. You heard his name many times in the state championship last week. And now number 10, Cade Keller, is heading closer on the sip of the cup and punching in 6.
Yep, faked the handoff. That was about a 20-yard gain for Cade Keller, and starting to see why he had 39 touchdowns in the air and on the ground.
We covered the state championship of Watauga last week and their big win over Middle Creek, I believe it was, Braxton. And what a wild game that was. And we mentioned Cade Keller's name several times at UNC at Keenan Stadium. And now Keller with motion movement from right to left by Ethan Driver. He'll throw it to Driver. He's got an opportunity catching the football, and he moves towards the cheerleaders of the East All-Stars and getting closer and closer to try to get into the red zone, Allen.
Ethan Driver, almost 66 yards per game this year for Davie County. He's had 5 touchdowns, and he made some pretty good moves there on the home sideline to gain some yards there and make it, looks like a short, maybe 1 yard to gain here on 2nd down.
West is driving. They're heading towards the W Energy red zone. Keller ready. Motion movement again. This time by number 8. Now it's a handoff to 6 of Moses Morris. He gets met in the backfield. He goes nowhere. Maybe a pickup of 1. He actually might have lost some.
Yeah, I think he lost some yards there, and I thought that might be what they would do, and it looks like the East thought that as well, so now it's going to be 3rd down and about 3, it looks like. So he lost a couple of yards there, and it's going to be really important for the East to try and get a stop here after this good field position that the West got to start with. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a quarterback run here again.
Yeah, QB keeper. We've already seen it a couple of times by Mr. Keller.
Oh, going back to the running back.
Yeah, goes to the running game.
It worked.
And it works, and he's moving his way up the field, and he's still on his feet. He'll drop into the red zone at around the 5. Moses Morris, the running back from West Forsyth, with a great run up the field. 1st and goal on the 5.
Got a flag on the penalty.
There's a flag. Guys, you cannot break in. Wait till we toss it to you. There's a flag on the play.
Yep. Oh, it's going to be a hold on the defense. Oh, personal foul, actually.
So there's a penalty on the field. We'll find out what the call is. They're going to call holding on the East All-Stars, and that is going to be a big gain for West. What is that, half a distance to the goal?
Yeah,
they're like at the 2 or 3 yard line here now.
Yeah, that was a great run by Moses Morris after that run for a loss. He had a heck of a year at West Forsyth, almost 122 yards per game and 16 touchdowns.
Here we go now. 1st and goal, a penalty on the East. Put the West now in the driver's seat, up the middle, pushing, driving, fighting, end zone at Grimsley. Touchdown!
Yep, they went back to Moses Morris again, and this is what I was talking about was just the size of this line, the offensive line and defensive line for the West, and he was able to make about one move there and get into the end zone and get the touchdown, put the West up here early.
A touchdown.
Look at this formation. Going for 2 maybe?
Look at this. Yeah, going for 2. And they're going to throw flags on it, too. I mean, I don't think they're going to let that hold. I don't think it's going to stand.
Yeah, maybe an illegal formation.
Illegal procedure. You're right. And
well, they had the center, and then looked like Moses Morris was back in a wildcat, but there were only 2 players there back behind the center, and then everybody else was over. It was unique, but it didn't work, and now it looks like they're going to go for the
they got pushed back about 5 yards. So instead, they're going to send out number 34 to go for the extra point, if you will. The kick is up. No, number 84, my apologies, actually. Number 84. That, of course, again, for the West All-Stars, no name on his jersey. Wow. Anyhow, they added the extra point. And Kevin, Stump, down to you for an Eastern Technical Design touchdown and scoring recap. Right now, the West All-Stars, they strike first, 7-0, with still midway in the first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. There is very good, camaraderie down here. They are very happy and on the sidelines. I think it was a very good team effort and very good offensive strategy by the coaches. I didn't know what they were doing on that last Wildcat extra 2-point, 3-point conversion, whatever they were trying to do, but it didn't fly, so they just went the conventional route. But,
I thought
it's some good times over here right now on this west side.
I thought for a second there we were watching the Kansas City Chiefs or the Jets or something last night, right?
I don't know what they were doing there, but the refs didn't like it. Nonetheless, they got the extra point.
Well, here comes now the opportunity for kicking it off to the East All-Stars.
About halfway here through this first quarter, and I think it's going to be a touchback.
Yeah, West is on the board. Obviously, now the East All-Stars get their chance for the second time to have possession of the football. And well, I'll tell you what, we talk about a good quarterback in the player of obviously Keller and his talents, and Kate Keller, number 10 from Watauga, but don't count out the talents of Geronimo Sanchez from Cape Fear. They gave him a big push towards the state championship, fell shy in the regionals, but no doubt about it, this is a really good quarterback. We saw him make some big plays in his first series.
Yeah, they moved the ball good until that sack and then the fumble, and you throw the penalty on top of it. And Geronimo Sanchez, the kind of player you want, and looks like he's going to run the ball again here. 6'3", 225 pounds.
That's a big quarterback to bring down, AD.
That's college all over it. That's what you're looking for right there. He had a 60% completion percentage this year too. So, I mean, that's the kind of kid you'd like to maybe see as a quarterback. Or, you know, we've seen a lot of high school quarterbacks come out too and go to college and end up being tight ends, and definitely got the size to do it.
Let's see what Geronimo Sanchez will do now. He'll hand it off up the middle to number 1, Joshua McBride from St. Paul's, our running back. Let's introduce their jerseys and colors. I know Braxton did it earlier. The away squad and the home team are both wearing gray game pants. The differential is the jerseys, and the dark jerseys are the away jerseys this year. The West All-Stars are wearing red with blue trim and the white numbers, West on the front, the famed All-Star logo on the back in their numbers as well in white and blue, and adorning their school's football helmet. Whatever school they're playing for in high school, they're wearing their helmet.
Interception.
Interception number 15, Calvin Ramser, pick six, touchdown!
Yeah, he read that all the way, and he actually slipped. But the pass was a little bit off. It was 3rd down and about 6, and he was able to jump right there in front of the receiver and get that interception and a touchdown.
A misread on the throw by Geronimo Sanchez, and when it happened, ready to take it was number 15, Calvin Ramser, and they put another score on the board. It's a pick six. It's 13-0 if they can add on this extra point.
Yeah, they're doing that unconventional formation again now.
Yeah, it looked like now they're going to bring them back out there. By the way, we do not know who number 84 is, the jersey for the West All-Stars. What numbers we have, I don't have it either.
Fat guy maybe.
Yeah, he can give me an update on that. If Earl Vaughn, if you're listening, my friend.
Extra points, good. And all of a sudden, the East finds himself at a 14-point deficit with 4:46 left to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, a PAT up and good, and just like that, Kevin, a pick six, man. It looked like it was the Alabama interception at Oklahoma on Friday night to put themselves against number 1 Indiana at the Rose Bowl. Okay, you know I love my Alabama team, but it looked like a perfect play. He read it, Ramser was there, and quickly Calvin Ramser, Kevin, to put it in on a pick six touchdown. They're up 14-0.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. He read it perfectly, jumped right in front of the receiver, and took it right to the house. And then I really like it when the West scores, because I don't know if y'all can hear it up there in the booth, but it is the Clayton Comets fight song.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's what they're playing for the West, so it's the same fight song. So, but anyways, back to the game. They're getting ready to kick off, and I am going to try my best to find out number 84 because he deserves his recognition.
Yes,
also.
please text that to me, and we'll write that information, my friend. I appreciate that. By the way, I want to let our audience know on CRN, the video feed of the game is not working. Do not subscribe to it. Again, the NFHS network does not broadcast the East-West All-Star game. It is not on the NFHS network, Grimsley High School package, if you will. I just want to throw that out there. You have to listen on CRN, and I will tell you there will be a delayed broadcast that we've done over the years. Later on tonight, we'll post that broadcast. But again, NFHS network is not broadcasting the All-Star game.
Number 84 not going to like that one because he kicked it out of bounds, so the East is going to start on the 35-yard line. They have got to take advantage of this, down 14 points here early in the game. Geronimo's going to run it again here.
Yeah, Geronimo wants to pick up where he left off from that mistake.
Flag.
And now we got Laundry on the field being thrown again.
It was well after he was down. He ran up the middle. I'm wondering if there might be a personal foul. We'll see what happened. Maybe a hold.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alan, just like that, the West All-Stars have put themselves in a good spot. They're up 14-0, two-score lead here. We're not even done with the first quarter of this contest.
It was a hold there on the east, 10-yard penalty. That'll move them back to the 25 here. It'll be 1st and 20. So that good field position right off the bat. Right now they're just shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here on the east, and they got to get something here going to not let this game get out of hand.
Geronimo Sanchez, throw made.
Very nice
Catch
play.
made. Heading around the 40.
Looks like Terrence McCormick Jr. was the receiver there. Number 12.
Number 12, the Terrence McCormick. He's the other quarterback, so it was a QB to QB from Sanchez at Cape Fear to McCormick from New Bern. And that QB option worked to make a big play to get a first down and move up the field here.
Yeah, they had McCormick out as a wide receiver, and it was a good read by Geronimo Sanchez. There's a big gain, too, now, about 17 yards. It'll be just 2nd and 3 now, and that's what they needed. Need to get this first down, though, and get a drive going.
First down, Geronimo. Big drive. It is catch made. 10-5. Touchdown. East All-Stars. They're back in this thing.
That's exactly what they needed. Javonte Brooks with the touchdown there out of Jack Britt.
What is that? Almost a 55-yard throw. Touchdown.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Unbelievable. That was the quarterback, Geronimo Sanchez, to Javonte Brooks from Jack Britt, and they do score.
He was able to get a couple of steps there on the defensive back, and that ball was placed just perfect. He didn't have to slow down or anything. Dropped right in there, and, he's used to about 58.7 yards per game, and he got about 55 right there on that one play.
Well, you put yourself in a position also where Braxton, this gets you back in this thing, man. Back down to you for a Eastern Technical Design touchdown and scoring recap. Now only down by 7. But I think they peed off Geronimo Sanchez when they picked 6 that football.
Right.
Calvin Ramser done it, and he said, well, you're going to do that? I'm going to show you how far I can throw this ball. And Sanchez with a deep route. Man, Javonte Brooks on the numbers. Touchdown, East All-Stars.
It doesn't get much better than that right there, and especially coming off the pick 6, being able to, write that from your memory as a quarterback. You got to have amnesia with it. You got to be like, that happened. And that's what they say with good shooters in basketball. Good shooters have amnesia because they forget those misses quickly. So the second he was able to step back in the pocket, and that'd be just a beautiful deep ball right on the numbers. And now the East is back in this game when it seemed like, kind of the momentum was slanting toward the West a little bit. They put themselves right back in position.
Yeah, put yourself right back in the saddle again, if you will, Alan Dietz. And obviously, we see now Sanchez can fire the football if he has it. He's got receivers that can catch it.
It's a perfect throw. We'll see if the East can get the West, pinned back here, too. The West has had tremendous field position and made the most of it. It'll be the first time they get a kickoff, and we'll see what the returners can do here. Looks like it's going to go back to number 5.
Yeah, he's going to get the football. That's Jordan Cleaves, and keep it on his feet, driving, running, getting around the 25.
So, this will be the first time that they're going to have to start back and not have great field position to start a drive.
This is the opportunity that hopefully we can see the East defense step up and pressure the West All-Stars. Remember, they got themselves great field position on a punt, and then there were penalties that put the West team into the end zone in their opening series drive. A pick 6 on the defense put Calvin Ramser in the end zone recently, and now, after East score, here we go now with the longest setback for the West All-Stars, back with a 1st and 10 on their own 25. Motion, movement, that's Driver. Low snap to the quarterback. He'll fire. He'll throw. Intended for number 7. Arian Tate from West Forsyth. It is incomplete, second down. By the way, my apologies, it's from Northeast Guilford.
Caden Davis in at quarterback right now after that first drive that we saw Cade Keller drive the team down and get a touchdown, and just a little bit overshot the wide receiver there, did Caden Davis. Flags on the play here. False start on the West, so that's going to move them back 5 yards. It'll be second down and 15.
Yeah, it certainly will. Wow.
Little momentum shift here.
So we'll see now if we can watch the West and the East battle back. Obviously, West with a big score early. East came back and responded with a big deep throw. Now this is the West in their biggest predicament. And now number 1 on a handoff. That's Caden Davis to Evans. He couldn't go nowhere. They brought him down. That was Alexander Chapman Evans on the bring, on the stop.
It's actually Amari Akers. They've got him at running back now. And it was just an inside handoff there, and he might have gained a couple of yards there, not more. Now, 3rd and long here for the West. See if the East can pin their ears back and maybe get this ball back.
Yeah, they're changing up everything, aren't they? We'll try this again here.
A couple of players in motion there. Caden Davis rolls out, got a completion.
Sure did.
To Aaron Tate, and that's close.
And this was, I think they're saying we got a flag on the play, though. We'll find out. Is obviously driving up the field is the West All-Stars, because for the first time they're in a predicament, and it's going to be a penalty against the West. This is going to push them back.
That's terrible, because they were right at the first down if they hadn't got it. It's a beautiful pass from Caden Davis to Aaron Tate, and now again they're going to have to try and do it all over again. Looks like a timeout for the West.
So the West All-Stars stepping away and taking a timeout. We'll take one as well. 14-7. West have the ball after this timeout. We're back in a moment from the All-Star game in Greensboro.
I'm a teenage girl. My BFF Becky texts and says she's kissed Johnny. Well, that's a problem, because I like Johnny. Now, I'm emotionally compromised and whoopsies. I'm all, OMG, Becky's not even hot. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Timeout about to expire as they get ready to trot back on the field. I'm understanding that we are getting on the air and then knocked off the air. It's going online and offline. The reason why is we are going into our mass numbers, and I've got to do some changes here, Alan. So if you could just give me a few minutes, if you want to take over on play-by-play, I've got to make some changes to up the listener audience, because the numbers are spiking. So I'll let you go back to it, my friend.
Well, 3rd and long here. Caden Davis going to take the ball, throws deep to number 14, Xavier Porter, incomplete. Again, that ball just a little bit too far. And again, another flag on the play. Holding on the West, that'll be declined, and West probably going to have to punt here. A good series there for the East All-Stars defense. We're able to get a stop there on the West. And looks like the punter maybe going to be Moses Morris. Or no, excuse me, that's number 84 again. Still trying to get his name for you.
Hey, Alan, I've got an update for you on that. 84 is Eli Fulcher. He was number 24, and they had to change his jersey number.
Thank you.
So 84 is Eli Fulcher, not number 24. Thank you, Braxton, for that. Thank you, Kevin.
And, again, wanting to give him his props, 15 for 22 on point afters and
from Oak Grove.
Field goals, 48-yard long field goal this year for him. So he's got a pretty good leg on him. And the East going to get the ball here in good field position. They're going to be right on the 50-yard line after that punt. And now the pressure's on the West here. They're going to have to try and slow the East down a little bit, finding something there in the passing game last time. Geronimo Sanchez still in at quarterback. Yeshua McBride alongside him at running back. Shotgun goes Sanchez. He'll take the snap. Whoa, that was close. Wide receiver handoff there to number 2, Taquan Ellerby Jr. And West read that perfectly. No gain.
Yeah, no gain. By the way, everybody, we should be back up and running again. Our numbers for the state championships in the East-West All-Star game are normally astronomical. They're phenomenal, and I needed to adjust the server because I used big numbers for our close to 12,000 listeners last week. Obviously, I don't know what terrestrial radio was, but for the streaming platforms and everything we have. But we should be back up and going again, Alan. So thank you very much, my friend. It's now the East All-Stars responding. They need to, Braxton. Obviously, they're only down by 7, but they are running the football as we close in onto 100 seconds left in the first quarter, buddy.
Yeah, you're right. They're finding an ability to move the ball. They had a couple, early flurries of penalties and, a pick six. It just kind of need to settle into the game. But once they've settled in, they've got this rhythm going. Sanchez to Brooks has been a connection that seems to be working so far. So in must-need situations, be looking for that.
Yeah, gained about 10 yards there, sets them up for a 3rd and 1. And I agree, Geronimo Sanchez definitely finding something here with Javante Brooks. See what they do on this 3rd and 1. Looks like it's going to be, thought it might be a quarterback run.
He did he? QB keeper. Instead, I want to say, was it 4? Number 4 or 17, actually?
No, it was 2 Taquan Ellerby on the reception there.
Yeah, Jeremy Deese and Robert McCollum were the ones trying to make the stop, is what I was going to say.
Taquan Ellerby from Red Springs, over 100 yards per game this season and 12 touchdowns. And that was a pretty nice option there because Geronimo Sanchez probably could have ran for the first down, but picked Ellerby off there, and it worked well, gives them the first down.
All right, let's see what happens now. East All-Stars, Geronimo Sanchez. It's a handoff right up the middle. He'll go to Joshua McBride, the 5'9", 185-pound running back from St. Paul's. That's just a perfect weight for a running back, right? It's not too big, not too small. Got the body, run up the middle of that defense.
Yeah, and you talk about a heck of a year, 180.7 yards per game, 27 touchdowns. The West has done a pretty good job to contain him so far. Gain of about 4 on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 6.
Want to let everybody know we are back on WeAreCRN.com, EastWestAllStars.com, WesleyOutland.com, and on the CRN Mixler app. That will do the first quarter. Kevin, down to you as our All-State Sideline Report. West All-Stars up in front, looking good. Sun coming out, and right now they're up by 7, my friend.
Absolutely, yeah. They've done a real good job in the first quarter. Both the teams have done a great job. The West, everybody down here is on the same page. Coach and staff looking at each other. They're all happy with the way that they've done in the first quarter. So everybody else is all smiles and all happy right now. on the west sideline.
For the East All-Stars, Braxton Cutchin. Braxton, what are you watching? They're still in this thing, only down by 7. The defense put the West in their biggest predicament. They're still holding on, but it is not over yet, and we only go to the second quarter, 12 in.
Right now I'm looking at their adversity that they face and how they're responding. As soon as they get in that 14-point hole, they've been able to get a stop. They've been able to score, and now they have the ball back moving down the field with another chance to score. And I'm looking for that Sanchez to Brooks connection that we talked about just a second ago, and especially with you getting inside the red zone, this is something I'm really looking for.
Yeah,
Alan, you want to add anything to that, my friend?
Well, the momentum has definitely shifted to the East right now after that big start for the West, and got a different player in the backfield here with Geronimo Sanchez, Sean Davis, running back out of East Duplin, big kid too. 6'1", 220-pound running back.
Yeah, they'll change it up as these new players will come in, and we start the second quarter. The sun is now poking through the Carolina clouds here in the Piedmont Triad of Greensboro.
And I thought Sean Davis...
It's warming up in the booth as well, Alan.
Yeah, it is. I thought Sean Davis moved a little bit early there, but they didn't call anything. And Geronimo Sanchez able to run the ball. Third down here, and about 5. And again, Sean Davis going to line up in the backfield with Sanchez. I'd be surprised if Sanchez doesn't throw it again. Here he goes out to the left, close to the first down, as he'll run it himself. And it's fourth down. About a yard and a half away on fourth down. And I believe they're going to stay out there and at least show that they're going to try to go for it. Big Sean Davis back there in the backfield again. Well, that'll settle things out a little bit more for the East because false start. That's going to move them back 5 yards. We'll see if they're really in a no man's land right now because, you know, they're close enough to the end zone. I don't think they want to punt it, but they're far enough away. I don't know if they want to kick it and try a field goal either. That's going to make it about fourth and 6 or so. Maybe they're
it's looking like that, isn't it? Wow.
And looks like they are going to try the field goal here. Francisco Garcia Rodriguez, the kicker. And it's going to be well short. Only able to make it to the goal line there. That was about a over 50-yard field goal there for Francisco Garcia Rodriguez.
It ain't going to go in either.
And he's had a great year, 22-23 on point after attempts and field goals out of Cape Fear. But
if you're the East All-Stars, you wanted to be within 4, but unfortunately that 50-plus field goal just – what is that? That's like the equivalent for high school for NFL, like 65 yards, right? I mean, it's pretty much something that you never really see.
It was over 50 yards.
For it. Yeah, that was the kicker of course, Francisco Garcia Rodriguez from Cape Fear.
Looks like Cade
turnover
Keller
on downs.
Cade Keller's back out there for the West at quarterback.
Yeah, Keller back in. Obviously, they do a couple of series and bring in different quarterbacks, Cade Keller or Caden Davis. And now Keller will go down to number 5. That'll go up to Jordan Cleaves. Cleaves will get the football and losing yards. This will now be 2nd and 12 coming up here.
Yeah, Jordan Cleaves, defensive back and wide receiver out of Mooresville. And they East read that really well that time. Again, I wonder if the West is going to try and take advantage of this size advantage they've got on the offensive line.
Would you?
Well, I mean, I would try it. They haven't really tried to run the ball that much today. Not going to this time either.
Throw, Bob, almost picked off. He was there. Man, I'm telling you, the defensive man, the lineman for the East All-Stars comes so close to intercepting that football, Allen. I mean, number 48 was literally Rob Lang for East Rutherford, mere moments from making the fumble for the quarterback happen and getting an awesome recovery literally, at the 10-yard line.
Well, Zeke Reed tipped that ball at the line of scrimmage and knocked it up into the air, and like you said, it looked like maybe Zion Wright was going to be able to get the interception. Now 3rd and long here.
3rd and long, Keller fires, and it's going to be an incomplete down ball.
Yeah.
Play called dead. It was intended for Moses Morris, the 200-pound, 5'11" running back from West Forsyth. However, you put the football right. I mean, I know you're up by 7, but you're too far back.
You're way too far back. I mean, the line of scrimmage is at about the west on 18-yard line, so Eli Fulcher's going to come back out here to punt, and just looked like Moses Morris was kind of looking ahead, trying to run there, didn't look the ball in and dropped it. Now the East should get the ball in pretty good field position here.
The kick as they punt the football, that is Leo Hassel Rajic. Eli Fulcher, my apologies. Fulcher punts the football. He's also the man that's not doing the kicking of the field goals, and they're saying we got a flag on the play again. But we want to let everyone know 24, Eli Fulcher, is actually jersey 84. So there's a penalty on the field. We'll let you know what that call will be here, and it looks like it's going to probably go against the East All-Stars, Allen, the way they're going backwards.
Well, they've got the ball on their 42-yard line, depending on what this penalty may be.
And for those that are listening to the All-Star game on CRN, on all of our broadcast platforms, the referee is pointing towards the away side of the home score tower. We are in the away booth here at Grimsley's Jamieson Stadium, so everything he's doing, we're seeing in opposite.
Yeah.
But it is against the red team of the West All-Stars, Allen.
Yeah, it's a hold on the West, and that's going to give the East even better field position here.
And I think it happened after the punt, too, so it literally will put the East All-Stars literally at midfield.
Yeah, it looks like the line of scrimmage is going to be about the 48-yard line for the East to start in West territory. And again, Geronimo Sanchez at quarterback.
Sanchez instead will hand it off. And
Yeshua McBride, nowhere to go there.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
And you want it again.
Is it Yeshai or Joshua?
Joshua
McBride, right?
And they've had, again, this kid's had over 180 yards per game and 27 touchdowns. And I think that goes again to that size advantage that the West has on the defensive line. But right now, the West, I think, has got to worry more about Geronimo Sanchez's arm. He's in the shotgun again.
Yeah.
I'd say this is probably a pass.
We'll watch and see what happens. As here comes another big play. Boy, they're going to take it all the way to out of bounds. It looks like 12 got the football.
Another flag.
Jalen Glover, and a flag on the play again. Wow.
Going to be a hold on the East now, so that's going to move them back. This I don't think should really be a surprise because you got a bunch of kids that have never played together before.
Right.
Different, calls from the quarterback, and they've all got different rhythms.
And remember, they've got literally 3 or 4 days to put a package together offensively and defensively to take on these All-Stars of the opposite spectrum of East and West, literally. You might maybe have 1 or 2 teammates that might be on the same roster, but for the most part, it's highly unlikely.
2nd and 15, Sanchez back to throw. He slipped a little bit.
Yeah, look at Sanchez go. And he got dropped by number 3 of Dominique Tishibi. Tishaboy stopped that run by Sanchez there, Alan.
Yeah, Sanchez gained a few yards, but it's going to be 3rd and long here, about 3rd and 13, and Sanchez did not want to run the ball there, but like I said, when he dropped back, he slipped a little bit, and they were starting to put pressure on him. Decided to run the ball, gained a few yards, but it's going to be another long 3rd down, and the West needs to try and get a stop here.
The West in red, they're leading by 7. What an all-star game. Sanchez picked off, intercepted, it's caught. And another pick 6, one man to beat the quarterback. Sanchez can't stop him. Touchdown, Camden Gillespie, the defensive end from 6'3". Morrisville, touchdown. Wow, that's the second pick 6 of the game for the West All-Stars, Allen.
Well, he read that perfect because that was basically just a little short pass to the running back, trying to set up a screen and gain some positive yardage there. And Gillespie read that perfect, stepped in front, tipped the ball to himself, and ran it back for the touchdown.
This will make it 20-7. The PAT by Eli Fulcher.
Camden Gillespie's had a heck of a year, too. 8 sacks for Mooresville, but 50 pressures. So that means he's been getting into the backfield a lot. He read that perfect and able to get that touchdown.
Heading to the 7 minutes remaining of the first half. PAT through the uprights and good. 21-7. And just like that, Kevin Stump for an All-State Eastern Technical Design touchdown scoring recap. The West All-Stars are up again by 2 scores.
Yeah, absolutely, and they are excited as they could be down here. Whenever he picked that off, everybody was just cheering on the sidelines. The stand was cheering. The band's playing. I mean, they're just having a good old time down here on the west sideline. They're loving it every minute of it.
And Alan, I'll tell you what, that literally got set up by trying to get in the head of Geronimo Sanchez, and got to give credit to the lineman. It starts on the line. They got to Sanchez, and that made him make the hiccup, and when they done that, another lineman busted through. Camden Gillespie going in for a pick 6. By the way, that's the second defensive pick 6 touchdown in the 78th North Carolina East-West All-Star game for the West All-Stars.
And the second interception for Geronimo Sanchez. I wonder if the East will make a change here and see if they can bring another quarterback in. We've already seen the West do that where they've had both their quarterbacks in here before halftime, and we'll see if the East sticks with Sanchez or not, as this kick goes way back in the end zone. Going to be a fair catch for the East, and now they've got to try and rebound here, and looks like Geronimo Sanchez is going to come back out for the East.
Yeah, I mean, they're sticking with him, and, you know, I don't want to say that that's a bad thing, if you will. Braxton Cutchin on the sideline. He's a talented quarterback right from Cape Fear. Just a couple of mistakes being made, but we've seen he's got the long arm. He'll set up some big plays. Things just got to work in their favor.
Right. They've been able to kind of establish the fact that they can trust his arm. It's, I mean, been just honestly, I won't even say brutal mistakes. Just, I think good plays by the defense is part of it. And I don't think it's necessarily like a misread or he just threw it and it just, you know, one got away from him there, right there a second ago. There's a good handoff to the left side.
And look at him run with the football. That's what we talked about.
That's the big running back, Sean Davis, for the East, and that was a big gain there.
Yeah.
Gained about 20 yards on that run.
You normally don't see a running back number as 39, but it is for him. The running back number 39, 6'1", 220 pounds from East Duplin, running the football. A big gain up the field, 5 away from the midway point of the midfield there, and it'll be a first down.
He's averaged over 100 yards per game, 16 rushing touchdowns, and that's the first time we've really gotten to see him run the ball here. Again, he's going to line up alongside the quarterback, Geronimo Sanchez, and they'll put Taquan Ellerby Jr. in motion. I think a fumble.
Oh, boy, I think he fumbled the football. Number 15's excited. He's got his hand on the rock. That's Calvin Ramser, who already got a pick six earlier in the first quarter against the East All-Stars. Now the West fumbled the football, and Ramser got it again.
Yeah, that was on the far side of the field, and I'm not exactly sure what happened. If one of our sideline reporters, did either one of you guys see that?
That would be on the sideline for Braxton. Braxton, you got an update over there?
I couldn't exactly see everything because I was getting kind of blocked by an official as I was trying to move my position. But yeah, it just looked like I don't know.
I got it.
A fumble of hands, but
no, what it was he was the wide receiver was going for a jet sweep, and he didn't pull the ball back in time, and he knocked it out of his hands and fumbled the ball. So it was the wide receiver knocked it out of the quarterback's hands.
There you go. The wide receiver knocks the ball
pass,
out of the quarterback.
Wide
He's an open
open
man. Look at that touchdown. I mean, that was easily Cade Keller to Arian Tate. Touchdown again. West All-Stars. Unbelievable.
Actually, Cade Keller threw a lateral to Ethan Driver, the wide receiver.
Yes.
And Aaron Tate was wide open. Just a perfect pass by Ethan Driver to get that touchdown. And now the West starting to open this thing up here.
Yeah, now you're starting to run away with it. Right now it's 27-7.
They're going for two.
Wow.
Direct
and they're going to
snap.
go for two and
not get it.
It's going to be short. So the 2-point attempt, no good.
Yeah, the direct snap to Moses Morris there, the running back.
Wow.
And it's right now is mistakes are killing the East. 3 turnovers, and I think off of all 3 of these turnovers, they've gotten 20 points. The West has off of East turnovers.
Yeah, this is not a good thing if you're the.
Well, the East has just got.
I mean, they got to find a way to score here. There's good things we're watching.
Yeah.
There's just components that you're just not meshing, if you will.
6:33 left here in the half, and
East has all their timeouts. West has 2. Remember, I mean, they still got almost 6 minutes left to go in the.
If I'm the East,
midway point of the second quarter, Allen.
If I'm the East, I want to put together a long drive here, ends up with a touchdown, go into halftime down a couple of touchdowns because they know they can move the ball here.
Right.
On the West, they've just got to keep it in their hands. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, keep the ball in your hands and just move up the field. We need to pause for station identification as we are at the top of the hour. Hold that thought, though, as the East All-Stars will get the football back what feels like 3 times in the last 10 moments, and they need a big play. That'll be a kickoff return on the 30 for number 2 of Ben Ballware. We'll pause for station identification from Greensboro from the All-Star game.
This is the Community Radio Network, WCRN. 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Smithfield, North Carolina. Proud to be in the USA. We are CRN.
So glad you're joining us in Greensboro 4 days before Christmas and the 78th edition of the North Carolina East-West All-Star football game continues in G-Town. Alan Dietz, Wesley Outland, Braxton Cutchin, Kevin Stump, Bree Ramey on the sidelines and on production as there goes number 1 trying to run up the field, Caden Davis, but he goes nowhere, AD.
No, he lost about 3 yards there, and it looked like Camden Gillespie, who got that interception for a touchdown, was able to make the tackle there. And I think the story right now is this line for the West, and they have just not been able to run the ball at all, and it may rest on Geronimo Sanchez's arm.
Geronimo, indeed. Throw, catch made. This time it's number 3 catching the football. Let's see what Javante Brooks will be able to do. That's the player from Jack Britt, 6 foot, 175-pound wide receiver. And Allen, somehow, some way, you've just got to find a way to get points. You're down by 3 scores right now if you're the East All-Stars.
Yeah, gained about 6 yards there. Looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 7 or 8 here. And I think, again, it's going to fall on Geronimo Sanchez's arms or his legs here on this third down. Going to hand off on the inside there.
Up the middle.
Joshua
and they
McBride.
fumbled the football again.
Gosh.
That's what they're saying. We'll find out. They did. They fumbled the football again.
Man, the inside handoff to Joshua McBride, who is, you hate to second guess coaches, but no better than they've been able to move the ball with the running backs. Any type of, yardage that they've been able to make on the ground has been with Geronimo Sanchez running the ball, and I don't know if I would have called that play or not, because whether he fumbled the ball or not, he was definitely not going to pick up the first down.
And when it rains, it pours, if you will, as a timeout being taken now by the West All-Stars again. This is their second timeout. And, boy, I'll tell you what, they're down to one timeout remaining. And, Braxton, down to you. The East All-Stars, man, they're imploding. They've got to find a way to get something going here, and they're not doing it when they keep turning the football over. Do you need to make a quarterback change?
I don't know if you do. I think you just need to kind of structure things a little differently right now. It seems that you're having success with the deep ball, so if you can find time to get those deep shots in, you're 1 for 1 on deep balls right now. You've got and 1 for a touchdown, a 50-some yard touchdown. So I would try and exploit that a little bit, especially if you find some chemistry with Sanchez or Brooks like we were talking about.
Yeah.
I would say that's something definitely to explore. But right now, you got to get out of your own way, and I think that's the most important thing.
I think it's the biggest thing. You're exactly right, Alan. They got to get out of their own way. They're making their own mistakes. They're running into their own players. They're causing them to have the quarterback fumble the football, the running back turn over the ball, and those are the things that the East All-Stars have got to find a way to fix here right now with head coach Jason Battle.
Well, the defense got to get a stop here. It looks like a change at quarterback, going to be a pitch to number 5, and boy,
and he still stays on his feet fighting for it, Alan. Look at that, Jordan Cleaves. I mean, literally just finding a way to just keep alive, even though he was running on the sideline.
Yeah, Caden Davis in at quarterback now, and that pitch out to Jordan Cleaves read perfectly by Riley Robinson for the East defensive back out of Croatan.
And Alan, now you had Kate Keller be the QB1 to start the game. Now you're seeing what Caden Davis will do from Freedom. We'll see what the similarities or the differences is for this quarterback, obviously, and maybe you can start making these changes being up by 20 points. Movement. Let's go to Davis. He'll go right up the middle.
Ooh, big tackle.
Boy, what a hit there. That was number 30 running the football. That was Amari Akers from Northern Guilford.
He's had 110.6 yards per game this year.
Man, what a year for him.
21 touchdowns, and now it looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 6, and the East has absolutely got to get a stop here. The ball's, on the East 31-yard line?
On the 31-yard line, yes, sir. Yep, and here come the West All-Stars coming back to the line. Here at Grimsley Jamieson Stadium, the home of the 3-time now state champion Grimsley Whirlies, and back-to-back last year and this year. They defeated Rollsville in the 4A title game last year, and this year they defeated Clayton 24-14 to be the first ever 7A classification title, 2-time back-to-back. And I want to say, you could actually say 4-time champion, but 1 year was vacated in the loss to New Bern, and then New Bern it was basically encumbered.
What happened?
New Bern won the game, but then they got busted and they had to forfeit because of illegal ineligible players, and there was all sorts of shenanigans going on. I think Darryl Brown, if he wants to join us maybe for an interview, he could come and talk to us, because obviously the winning coach is right beside us for the 7A state championship. And what a game we saw Faison Brandon do last Friday night at UNC at Keenan Stadium. You heard it on CRN, and obviously Grimsley, 3-time back-to-back, in my opinion, should be 4-time state champions under the Grimsley name, and that's not even counting the years of success in football under Greensboro High School.
West called a timeout there, so they've used their last timeout here with 3:18 left. Do they stay conservative, keep it on the ground, or do they try to get this first down?
So the West has used up all their timeouts. They're going to go to handoff. They're going to keep it. Actually, Caden Davis, QB keeper, and he'll go around the 30 to the 29. Maybe we can get Darryl Brown to pop in and put a headset on if he wants to join us at halftime. Maybe he can come and chat with us. He's literally right here beside us. He could pop in and say hello. So we're going to have the head coach of the Grimsley Whirlies join us here in just a moment and give a recap of the season. And what is he watching as a coach? What do you think he's watching in this All-Star game right now, Alan?
I think he's watching the West defense stand up, and right now 4th and 5, and looks like now the East All-Stars are going to call a timeout as the West, again, they're kind of in that no man's land.
That's their first timeout, by the way.
They're kind of in that no man's land right now because the ball's on the 30-yard line, so that's pushing a 50-yard field goal. But again, it's close enough that you really don't want to punt it.
Yeah, 27-7 right now, the score here at the 78th North Carolina East-West All-Star Game, and currently it is a 20-point lead. And Kevin, obviously, down to you for an All-State sideline report. They have got to be pumped up. They've got to be excited. They got to be loving what they're seeing right now, watching what's going on, representing the red, which is normally the home colors, but for this year, it's the away colors for the West All-Stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's fired up. You got the cheerleaders cheering. They're over there doing stunts. You know, all the coaches, they're all fired up. The camaraderie with the West, you know, I'm looking across, and Braxton can do a little bit more about that, but, you know, they're separated over there on the east sideline. Over here on the west, they're all together. You know, everybody's cheering, everybody's in there. So, you know, right now the West has got their stuff together.
Well, the West All-Stars have used up all of their timeouts. They're exhausted. 20-point lead. East All-Stars have 2 remaining, and let's watch now the West. Oh, nice option. It's going to be a big dive and almost a helmet-to-helmet contact there as Riley Robinson going after Moses Morris. That was a big offensive move up the field, Alan.
Well, they brought Cade Keller back in, and again, it was one of these trick plays through the pass to Ethan Driver, who was, I think, had the first down, but then he pitched it back to Moses Morris. They were able to gain a few more yards. First down now to 21.
And now we'll go back to Cade Keller. Keller finds the man sweeping on the left side, and there's bodies flying everywhere, at least a pickup of maybe a yard or so. We're joined by Darryl Brown, almost 10-year head coach of Grimsley, and now 3 state championships back-to-back. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you guys having me.
Man, playing Clayton last Friday night, it was definitely a different Comets team of the years past, wasn't it?
Yeah. There's they had a lot of talent for sure. Coach has done a great job there, and those guys played really hard. It was a tough physical football game for sure.
Yeah, we saw some great plays by Faison Brandon Siney to Tennessee. You got something, Alan?
Yeah, just a short run there to the inside with Moses Morris. Might have gained maybe a yard. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 9 here maybe.
Yeah, it looks like he lost a yard of that last play as they'll get ready to set back up. Under 90 seconds remaining here in the first half. Coming up, Braxton and Kevin will join us for the halftime report here at the 78th North Carolina East-West All-Star Game. It is now a 3rd and 2, or 3rd and 8, actually. They lost the yard. Here comes now Keller, and he gets dropped.
He got drilled.
Wow.
He stepped up in the pocket there and had to hold on to the ball and looked like number 40, Jalen King.
Yeah, 41 there made the stop of Zeke Reed and Jalen King also. Yeah. Coach Brown, these are seniors. Some are your players. They're not committed to a college yet. They're looking for an opportunity to shine one more time. What are you watching as you see these on the field?
No, you got a lot of talented guys out there. I think moving the game to the winter was a great move by the association. It allows a lot of these guys to play one more time before that second signing period in February. It gives them a chance to be seen again, and I think you get a lot better talent this time of the year. That kick's good.
Yep, Eli Fulcher making the kick there to put the West up now 30-7. And obviously, Coach, I mean, 31 seconds left. Unless you get a big return here, I wouldn't anticipate the East doing anything too drastic here, especially as much trouble as they've had holding on to the ball.
A touchdown somehow, right?
They've struggled offensively for sure. I mean, they look like they're out of rhythm, and obviously 4 turnovers in the first half. You're going to get that kind of score that you got on the board right now.
And Coach Brown, obviously, from what I've seen out of the East team, it seems to me, too, that they're making their own mistakes, running into one another, causing the quarterback, Geronimo Sanchez, to fumble the football. These mistakes that you're making is what's causing you to be down by almost, what is it now, 23 points, I think?
Yeah.
It's tough in these games. You get 4 weeks or 4 days to prepare. You don't have a lot of time, and you got guys coming from all different kind of systems, and if you're trying to incorporate motions and different things like that, timing becomes really tough.
Now, I got to ask you a question. If they go to a 35-point lead, I know it's an all-star game, Coach Brown, will there be a running clock?
I'm not sure about that. That's a great question.
I might need to check with our PR guy here, Phil Weaver or Eddie Vaughn, if you guys can respond there. Earl Vaughn. As now, here comes the West. They will kick it back, and it will be a touchback. He thought about maybe running it out of the end zone for a second, Alan.
Kamarian Larry.
Yeah, he said, nope, I'm not going to do it.
And the quarterback for the East, Geronimo Sanchez, he's had a couple of interceptions, and it looks bad, but it could be as simple as a receiver cutting out instead of cutting in, and it makes the quarterback look like it's a bad read, but they hadn't been on the same page.
Yep, that's tough. In this game when I was just talking to the guys in the booth beside, when you're throwing the football around and guys' routes are different, where they come from, and that kind of stuff, your timing is definitely off.
We're joined in the broadcast booth with Darryl Brown, head coach of the Grimsley Whirlies. Obviously, state championship back-to-back, down 3 times under the Grimsley banner, and that was, of course, a run up the middle by the West All-Stars. That was just trying to find a way to get something going, if you will, in the East All-Stars.
Yeah, Sean Davis, the big running back there.
I'm telling you, you got a 23-point lead.
They're just going to let the clock run.
I think that's going to do it. I think this is where it's going to go to the locker room. Coming up in just a moment, we will be joined by J.K. Atkins, the head coach of Freedom for the West All-Stars. Kevin is going to be grabbing him. And when we start the third quarter, from Rocky Mount, Jason Battle. Those are their head coaches. And we're joined by, of course, Mr. Darryl Brown. And Coach Brown, I got to ask you, what was your take of some of the officiating, especially that long 1-hour third quarter at Keenan last Friday night?
Yeah, without saying too much, a little disappointed that you get to a state championship game and you kind of have it play out like that as far as, every call, there was a 3 or 4 minute discussion, it felt like, before they could mark it off. And that third quarter, it just didn't allow either team to get any kind of flow or rhythm.
Yeah, and I was going to say that, like, literally, bottom line, it's cold outside, right? And when you're standing around for 5 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 2 minutes there, and I'm understanding that there was new referees and they haven't worked with each other before, but my goodness, Coach Brown, it's the state championship. You would think that these guys are the best of the best, and listen, Brandon Marie's not going to get mad at me because we expressed ourselves. My buddies Patrick Keenis and Jay Sonhalter used the analogy that they thought Christmas would arrive before the third quarter ended. So, I mean, there was a lot of things that happened, but at the end of the day, Coach Chadwick said it in the pregame or the postgame show we did at Vincent's. You fumble the football 4 times. You can't do that, and that's what Clayton did, and they rallied back, but they ran out of time.
Yeah, I mean, again, the officiating is what it is. You can't really control it. We talked to our guys a lot about controlling the things that you can control. So, we had a little frustration, but I thought for the most part our guys did a great job of just kind of hanging in there and battling and finding a way to get to the finish.
I think Kevin is standing by with head coach J.K. Atkins. Kevin, what you got, buddy?
I know, right? What happened to him?
His mic was on.
No, I had turned it off already. He had already went to the locker room.
Okay.
Coach, real quick, what do you, if you're the West coach, you're up 30-7, what do you say if you're the East Coast, you're down 30-7? What do you say? What are the two coaches going to tell them here?
Well, if I'm in the West locker room right now, it's basically keep doing what you're doing. Offensively, we want to make sure that we don't turn the football over. If we can possess the football and shorten this game a little bit, that's going to be in a good spot for us. And then if I'm on the east side, I'm going to basically say we got to quit shooting ourselves in the foot. When we haven't hurt ourselves, we've moved the football. So we know that we can move it as long as we take care of what we're supposed to take care of, and just trying to clean up those mistakes. Without the mistakes, this game's 14-7.
Yeah.
So the offense has led to a lot of points for the West right here.
Well, the West, if I'm not mistaken, they scored 20 points off of turnovers.
Well, they have two pick sixes,
yeah,
and then the one fumble recovery. The very next play, they threw the double pass on the short field. So the turnovers is what has killed the East. Without them, you're looking at a 14-7 game right now.
One more question, Coach Brown. We'll let you go. Thank you for taking the time to pop in. We got to let Kevin and Braxton carry our halftime update. But I'm finding out right now if there's a 35-point lead, would there be a running clock? I would say yes, right? I mean, if it happened in the state championship,
probably
it happened against that. I got to ask you, did you hear about the crazy scoring game at Durham?
Yeah, Shelby and Kinston.
Shelby and Kinston. Oh, my goodness.
So I'm good friends with Mike Wilbanks, the head coach at Shelby. We went to college together at Gardner-Webb.
Yes.
So, I actually texted a friend of mine that was on the sideline at that game that has something to do with Shelby High School, and I asked him if he had scored yet. Everybody was scoring down there.
Very Madden-esque of touchdown. I mean, it literally was exciting at first, and then they got to the point where they'll throw the football, it's touchdown. One thing I will give Shelby credit, though, is they did not let Kinston score any in the second half. And obviously it was too far gone, and Shelby kept scoring. But one more question, and it's about Grimsley. What's your take of the town and the team and the momentum? How do you rebuild? How do you continue to go down for a three-peat? We're looking at some historic moments that the Grimsley Whirlies have already done, but you've still got an opportunity to make some more history.
Well, first of all, our community and our school is second to none. I mean, Greensboro is a large city. We got 15 high schools in the county, but
half of them are named Guilford.
Yeah, exactly right. I was at one of them for a long time, Southern Guilford. But this community really rallies around this school. I mean, the entire, you got a lot of businesses and people right here in Greensboro that went to Greensboro High School before it was Grimsley. So there's a lot of tradition here. We got great support from our administration, our booster club. But as far as our football program, my staff, a majority of them guys, Coach Rigsby's coaching in this game right here, my defensive coordinator. So he was the assistant that was picked for this All-Star game. He's been with me since 2010. My two offensive coordinators have been with me since 2013. So we got a lot of continuity with our staff. And there's no egos within our staff and our program. We're just here to try to help our kids be the best that they can be. We have a great foundation. Our guys work extremely hard. We coach our JV team the same way we coach our varsity team. And we have a lot of success on Thursday nights, and I think that helps as those guys get older and move to Friday night. So it's a special time, and we got a great group coming back next year, so we're looking forward to them.
So counting the days to open up Christmas presents and get ready for 2026, right? I mean, or are you taking a much-needed rest as head coach for the Whirlies?
Yeah, well, we took a good break. This week was nice, just kind of like sitting around school and not having anything after school and coming off the big win. So we'll enjoy Christmas break, but then when we get back in January, we'll get back to it.
Coach Darryl Brown, thanks for your time, man.
Thank you,
Congratulations on another championship. That is Coach Darryl Brown. We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up on the other side, we're going to turn it over to Braxton Cutchin and Kevin Stump as it is Clayton Peanut Company at the half at the All-Star game. Right now, 23-point lead. The West All-Stars 30, East All-Stars 7. And we are back from Greensboro after this break.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be.
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing.
And a lifeline to keep you safe when danger is near.
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can. This is one of the biggest storms.
We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Atwell Exterior Services, the time is now. With mortgage interest rates up, so many smart homeowners are renovating rather than moving right now, and those who hire Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville are thrilled that they did. For residential roof replacement, roof repairs, roof inspections, and more, done right by a local family business with awesome customer reviews, please visit AtwellEXTServices.com or call to set up a free inspection. Atwell Exterior Services, honesty, integrity, experience. The time is now.
I'm your blind spot. And my job is easy. Hide big things. You're good. And if you named your own price on car insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Shop less, get more. Make one call to an Allstate agent.
And we're back at the half, the 78th annual North Carolina Coaches Association East-West All-Star Football Game. And it's halftime here. My name is Braxton Cutchin alongside Kevin Stump. We were with you pregame. Right now, as it stands, the West has a commanding 30-7 lead. And Kevin, just going to go over a couple things. What did you see there in the first half from the West?
Absolute domination. Now, like we talked about pregame, I thought it was going to be a defensive struggle. I thought it was going to be a low score. I think we both thought it was going to be a low-scoring game. Wasn't expecting to see 2 pick sixes from the West squad. But Cade Keller has just been phenomenal in this game, and it's just been, defensive domination from the West. You can talk more about the East but from where I've seen on this West sideline, if they're going to have any kind of chance for a comeback in the second half, they better put some kind of ducks in a row over here somewhere during halftime and figure out something. Find Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan, get some of that good juice, that Space Jam, that good stuff, and they better get something together.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm going to say about the East defense is they haven't played terrible by any stretch of the imagination. No. When Coach was up here just a second ago, he was talking about eliminate the turnovers, a 14-7 game.
Exactly.
And so, and with that, the East hasn't played bad by any stretch of the imagination. A little bit of it's just unfortunate football plays that are just going to happen, and you got to be able to roll on with it. But at the same time, they're causing turnovers, the West is, and so the East has to figure out their own way to manufacture some points, whether that's some trickeration like we saw with the double pass that looked very similar to what James Madison did to Oregon last night. When they needed the momentum, they went to the double pass, put out a bag of tricks. So whether it's you score some points and you kick an unexpected onside kick, trying to manufacture something to get your team some energy. And I think being able to win this middle 8, as we like to refer to it as all the time, it seems like you lost the last 4 of that first half. If you can win this first 4 of the second half, muster up some momentum, get some points, get a stop or 2, things could get really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. But you've got to get something going. You can't just get a 3 and out and give it back to the West. And they're hitting on all. They ain't hitting on all 6 cylinders or 8 cylinders. They got that V10 purring, and they if they keep it going in the second half, it's going to get ugly.
And one of the things you talked about was quarterback Cade Keller from Watauga, who's been the quarterback for the West squad, and we saw him last week in Keenan Memorial Stadium in Chapel Hill. He was just dicing. He was finding everyone, and there's a poise to him. He doesn't get rattled. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the most athletic, but he's one of the smarter ones you'll see. He's not forcing anything. If it's not there, he'll take what he needs to. He lets the game come to him, and that's something that I think is serving the West really well.
Yeah, and then going back to the East, like you were talking about Geronimo Sanchez, they're looking at them short passes. Well, when you're down 30-7, you're going to have to start looking deep. They've got the talent and the speed. You're just going to have to run the correct routes to start fooling the West's DBs. Make some, crossing routes or some posts or some corner routes, and get them crossed up a little bit and get them off their game. And like you said, they're 1 for 1 in deep passes. Other than that, they've done jet sweeps, or they've done screens, or they've run up the middle. It ain't working. You're gonna have to change the game plan somewhere if you're gonna get something going.
Right, and I understand they're trying to establish the run and then build off that and work into play action and all that. But at some point, when you're down by this deficit, instead of playing, no pun intended, east and west, you got to start getting north and south a little bit. And I saw the receivers for the East squad, especially Brooks there at the end. Whenever they're running out the clock, he's like, let me go downfield. He was telling coach, he's like, worst case, we're right where we're at. I don't think there's really no harm, no foul there. You're already down 23. A deep ball, the best it's going to do is help you. Yeah, if you throw a pick, it's almost as good as a point. They still got to drive the length of the field.
Exactly. Yeah, it's as good as a punt, like you said. And the way they've been playing, I'd rather turn it over deep than, they've already blocked the kicks. You don't want to give them a chance to try to block a punt and get the ball, at the 15, 20-yard line. I'd rather throw a pick to the 45-yard line on this other end. At least that gives them an extra 35 to play with, so they've got a lot more field that they've got to accomplish because the West has been marching down the field all day. I'd rather make them have a little bit longer than I don't want to give it to them on the doorstep of the goal line.
Right, and one of the things I want to talk about here is what we think they need to change here in the second half. What do you think they need to change here in the second half? If you're the East squad, if you're the West, what do you need to keep doing that you'd like to see from them?
If you're the West, don't stop doing anything you're doing. Just keep doing everything you're doing. Keep pounding the ball inside. Keep blocking. Keep getting your reads going on. Everything you're doing, blocking wise, scheme wise, they've dug into it and they've done everything they're supposed to do right now. So, if I'm the West, don't change nothing. If I'm the East, change everything. Throw the playbook that you had out the window. Go back to fundamentals. Go back to playing backyard football for all I know. You run a post, you run the in, out, you go and, block outside, run it, and then pass it. You're going to have to start doing something different.
Right. One of the things I'm curious to see is how that setup changes, what that playbook change looks like going in the second half. Are they content with what they're doing and sticking to it and riding with what they got, or are they going to, hey, we need to adjust some things because clearly it's not working?
Yeah, the only thing you can really do if you're the East is you're going to have to start simplifying stuff. You come in, like you said, like Wesley and them have said during the game, you got 4 days of practice, basically, 3 or 4 days as coaches during meetings and stuff to try to get all this stuff together. You've got 4 or 5, 6 different coaches on your staff that's got 6 different ideas, and they're all good coaches in their respective conferences and, in the respect of what they coach, their specialty of what they coach. So they've all got a good input, but when you put them all together, it might not match up like you think it would putting them all together, So, you just got to come in there and it's got to be the perfect storm of coaching. And, sometimes it just don't work out that way. And, you just got to, you'll have to just change it around and see what you can do to try to make it the best you can.
So, with the KISS principle, essentially, keep it simple, stupid.
There you go.
And that's exactly what we're looking for. So 30-7 still our score as we're taking just under 5.5 minutes here before we get toe meets leather again for the second half. And right now, I'm very curious because what that locker room conversation is. We have our own beliefs of, hey, stop going east and west, get north and south. We're going to get some stats here, hopefully in a minute, to try and dissect this a little bit more. But from what we have right now, I love the play of Kate Keller. But Geronimo Sanchez, I think even though he's thrown the interceptions, I feel like they have to lean on the arm.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He has shown bits and pieces of being able to just throw it downfield. But they're not. The offensive line is obviously going to have to step up for the East because they've got to give him time because the defensive line for the West is just dominating the line of scrimmage.
They're gigantic.
Yeah, they're huge guys. Like we were talking about, they're averaging 300 pounds right at it and then 280 for the East. It's not. It's a 10-pound difference either way you go.
Right.
But it's just like the West is getting more push and getting under the skin and under the heads of the offensive linemen for the East. So once you do that and you use different swim moves and different motions and crossing moves and twists and stuff like that, they're better prepared and dominating and in the trenches, and it's confusing the East's offensive line, and they're going to just have to. They're going to have to figure out how to read that just a little bbit better and see what they can figure out.
One thing I'd like to see from the East is if they are going to run the ball and continue to lean on their running backs, is maybe try and get some counter plays going, use the aggressiveness of the West D-line to their advantage, trying to get them to overcommit on some ways and then catch them napping in others. Run, boom. Defensive back's like, man, I wonder if we're ever going to get a pass play. Run them over the top. I wonder if that's going to be something we see. We see even the screens being able to just, let the defensive line come through and be able to get guys downfield and having a couple plays and some spark plays early.
Yeah, you're going to have to bait, like you said. You can't get away. I mean, it's 23 points. You can't get away from trying to bait them in to try to get them for even a middle of the field play. You don't have to go 40 yards down the field. Get 15, get 18, 22, whatever.
Right.
You don't have to get 40 yards in a play on the first play of the second half. But you got to build into it, because if you don't, you got to get started somewhere. But that somewhere is not a 2-yard run and then a 3-yard run and then a 4-yard run. Then you got to punt the ball or 4th down and 2 or whatever.
Right.
You got to start working your way down the field. You can't, you can't screen it here for a yard and screen it there for a yard and then run up the middle for 3 yards. You're eventually going to have to start relying on your passing game, and you got to get down the field.
I feel like part of that, too, is there is no 23-point play. That doesn't exist.
Exactly.
If there was, they would love to find a way to orchestrate that, but there's not.
Yeah.
So you have to tell your team, hey, guys, this is going to be a multi-position thing. You're going to have to trust in the process, but I need everyone to go and execute out at the highest level. So with that being said, it's the players are going to have to step up. They're going to have to execute. They're going to have to realize bad things are going to happen in the game of football. It's going to happen. Unfortunate circumstances happen. How can we adjust, wipe that first half, and can we go win the half?
And I mean, it's not even just the offense, too. The defense for the East is going to have to step up. They're going to have to figure out a way that they're going to be able to stop Cade Keller or whoever the other quarterback is that's going to come into the game. Caden Davis, he did a good job when he came into the game. They're going to have to find a way, their DBs, to stop letting the DBs and the safeties to stop letting the offensive wide receivers for the West get behind them. And, they ran a couple of trick plays there at the end of the second half. The backwards pass with the flea flicker down there.
Right.
The defense for the East is going to have to step up just as good as their offense is going to have to step up, because offense wins games and defense wins championships, or in this case, an all-star game.
Yeah, and for sure. And one of the other trick plays we saw was the hook and ladder on, I think it was a 3rd down, being able to, Cade Keller, they're trusting his arm, and what a phenomenal arm it is. He's been able to put the ball wherever he wants, was able to put it right at his receiver's chest and then highly execute. The trust you've got to have in your team as well to be able to execute that in game is something to hang your hat on, especially if you're the West coaches.
Well, you're not a state champion for nothing. You got to have a good quarterback, and he's definitely shown today that he is a state champion caliber quarterback, and he just right here shows you why he led his team to a 6A state championship.
And might I add, being at that game and watching him in person for the first time at that point, he was phenomenal. Just like I said, poised, and there was such a trust about it. It was super fundamental. He never overcomplicated anything. With the kid's principle, he kept it simple, and he was able to just pick apart the defense left and right, and it seemed like Middle Creek had no answer for him.
And see, it's crazy because he's doing the exact same thing here with players he's never played with. That just shows how good of a student athlete that he is, and it's crazy to me that he's not committed nowhere, because it's like they just plucked him into this random offense, and he is picking them apart just like he did Middle Creek with his players he's probably played with since like middle school, or grew up playing with through their local Civitan or whatever.
Right.
And he is just amazing, the talent that this kid has. I can't wait till the February signing to see where he's going to sign to go.
Right, and the benefit for him that he has that not every coach and player will get is the fact that he does have his head coach Ryan Habig, down there, being able to, hey, here's what I noticed. They have that chemistry, and being able to have that chemistry is it's a good comfort zone for a quarterback. So definitely being able to have that coach down there is definitely something that he's able to lean on. But Geronimo Sanchez, he doesn't have his coach down there, so that could be another difference we see between the two, is the fact that you're able to lean on your coach a little bit, for sure.
Exactly. That's just like me. Backing up and going instead of coming up here and broadcasting for Wesley. It's like me going and broadcasting for, NBC in Chicago somewhere, and you don't know everybody, and you get it's like a first year jitter type thing again. You know,
Right.
You're all these new people, and the expectations for you are just high, and it's just, you know, it's like you're all up in a brand new world, and you don't know what to do. And I mean, you're great from where you come from, and then, you know, you get thrown and plucked into this thing, and it's just like they mean for you to do great things, and you can do great things, but it's just hard, and sometimes it just don't come together all the way. But, you know, you do the best you can. These kids are all great superstars in their own right, and you know you got 24 more minutes to play your hearts out, and we'll see how everything's going to turn out.
Right, and Wesley said the word was humble, and that was something we talked about. But yeah, now for these guys, you got 24 minutes of football. Some kids, this is the last 24 minutes of football that they'll play, for the rest of their life. So being able to
all right, Bud Kilmer.
Yeah. So this is the last 24 that you've got. What does your last 24 look like? What are you going to hang your hat on and say, I left it all out there on the field today? So that's going to be something to watch, as we've got just around a minute to go before we kick back off for the second half. But the teams are warming up now, and man, all that's left to do now is just watch and wait, or listen and wait if you're listening out there in radio land somewhere.
Yeah.
But for us, getting to watch and wait and see, what adjustments that this East squad's going to make. They've been able to lean on the run, but almost to a detriment, right? So let's see if they'll stretch it out north and south, and if they have, this could turn into a very interesting game very quickly. If not, we could see a repeat of the first half, and maybe, I don't know if we'll get a rundown on if Wesley learned that they will have a running clock or not, but that could come into play.
And that's right before matter of fact, I'm glad you said that, because right before we came up here, I stopped one of the officials and I asked him, and he was like, that's a good question. They didn't tell me that, but I will find out. So as soon as I go back down there, I'm going to ask that same official, seeing if he found out anything. But he said if it's my opinion, he would say yes. So according to that official, if it gets over 35 points, he would say it would be, but he's going to find out from me for sure.
Alrighty. Well, that was halftime. We will go to a quick break, and then we will go right back to the second half of play for the 78th annual North Carolina Coaches Association East-West All-Star Football game from Jamieson Stadium at Grimsley High School. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Community Radio Network.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Friday night family fun starts here.
Your green flag on America's favorite bull ring.
Wake County Speedway is Raleigh's home for exciting NASCAR short track racing.
Trouble up in turn number 3.
The cars, the crowds, the throaty rumble of engines. All eyes on the green flag. Get the full schedule of races at WCSpeedway.com.
They're coming to the checkered flag.
Wake County Speedway, just 10 minutes south of downtown Raleigh off US 401.
I was just getting clarification from the powers that be.
Excuse me. Wow,
Nothing like sneezing when you're on the air live, Alan. My goodness. I was just getting clarification from the powers that be from the North Carolina Coaches Association, Alan, that this will be a regular running clock. Even if it becomes a 35-point lead, where normally you would see a running clock in playoff games or regular season high school games, this will be a regular clock. So no running clock to end things here.
Yeah, and while we were finishing the break up there, kickoff to the West All-Stars. Incomplete pass there. They'll start from the 20, and Cade Keller back in at quarterback right now.
Is that torture, though? knowing that there will not be a running clock, and obviously the butt kicking continues if you're the East All-Stars from the West.
Well, I actually heard some folks talking about it, and if you do have recruiters here and things like that, so in all fairness to the players, to try to give them the best indication of how good they are.
Sure.
Pass now complete from Cade Keller there to Ethan Driver.
Keller to Driver, trying to move upfield. Let's check in with Kevin. Kevin, have you been able to grab the Freedom coach, J.K. Atkins, and how's his vibes? How's he acted right now, obviously being up by 23, sir?
Just looking at his demeanor on the sidelines here, he looks like he's in a pretty good place. He's real happy with everything that's going on the field, and he's looking forward to the good second half from his squad.
Kevin is way like 15 yards away from the coaches and the players. He's like off in La La Land.
Oh, I'm getting all up in this. I was giving the quarterbacks daps after he threw that touchdown pass in the end of the first half. I'm all up in this.
Well, here comes a QB keeper from Keller, and then he overshot his man. It was intended for Ethan Driver. However, it is incomplete.
So it'll be a 3 and out for the West here, but
fourth down coming here.
There was nothing but green grass in front of Ethan Driver there, and Cade Keller just missed him on that short flare-out pass, so they're going to punt the ball here to the East, and the East absolutely has got to take advantage of this.
East meets West, and West is killing the East right now, and Braxton, as they punt the football back to the East All-Stars, you need a big drive to get back in this thing down by 23.
Yeah, for sure. Being able to get this 3 and out to start is huge for this East momentum, and it seems like they're going to get the ball at pretty good field.
Good field position, number 24. He about tripped on the grass, and I thought the ball was going to pop out from the process there of Camarian Larry, the defensive back from Martin County. But he keeps the football there at midfield, 1st and 10 East.
And they just about blocked that punt, which could have really pushed some momentum towards the East. But they're going to get the ball here. They're on the almost right at the 50. They're on the 49-yard line of the West All-Stars here. Geronimo Sanchez still back at quarterback, hands the ball off to number 1, Yeshua McBride. And remember, McBride had that fumble last time he touched the ball.
Yeshua McBride, obviously, that running back from St. Paul's. Joshua, it's Joshua. It's like my brother's name, Joshua, but it's Joshua. Joshua McBride, pretty cool last year. My brother actually joined me in the booth. He's in Australia, but that was pretty cool. He knows football. He actually got to call the Australian-American Football Championships a couple of weeks ago on Australia for television. Here comes now a throw. Oh, Sanchez.
Nice
catch made, intended for Jude Sarago. Yeah, Sarago, the tight end for West Brunswick, caught the football and made it happen, and we are going to see a big drive here by the East All-Stars.
That was a pretty pass there to gain about 15 yards now. The East, they've got the ball here at about the 35-yard line. Again, they hand the ball off to Joshua McBride.
Sanchez to McBride. You got something going there, and if you're not getting it to the tight end, you're doing this running game, and you're going right up the middle, and you're getting a couple of yards here, and that's exactly what we saw Sanchez do.
Well, just as Coach said, prior to halftime, if you're the East, you're moving the ball. You just got to hold on to it. Quit with these interceptions and fumbles. So right now, second down, about 4.
Low snap.
Yeah.
Sanchez, he'll throw. It is incomplete. Great coverage by the man in red, number 14, Xavier Porter, intended for Javante Brooks, but he overthrew his man there, Alan.
Yeah, and like I said, it's going to be about 3rd and 4 or 5 here. I wonder if they may keep this ball on the ground to set up a short field for 4th down and maybe look at this as having 2 downs to go 4 points, or 2 downs to get the first down here.
Looking about, 3rd and 6 right now, as we can see the down markers in front of us from our broadcast position on the away side here on Joe Franks Field at Jamieson Stadium. Snap, go back again to McBride from Sanchez, and you might get maybe 1 or 2, if that. I think he actually lost
No, he gained.
Fourth down, yeah, actually, I'm sorry. He's going the different direction. It's going to be about a 4th and 3 here. Do you go for it being down by 23, Allen?
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I thought they would do is maybe run the ball there and try to get a little bit closer. Now, I wonder if Geronimo Sanchez may try to run this himself. There he goes.
Sanchez, QB keeper.
Quarterback number 6.
Doesn't really find anything there. Will now set up again a first down. Well, are they going to ask for a chain measurement, Allen?
I think they're going to measure it here. I thought he had it. Nope, he's got the first down.
They said first down, so it is a first down for the East All-Stars. And Braxton, down to you for an All-State sideline report. The East All-Stars need something big in this drive. We are seeing something by them finally in this drive, moving the ball upfield.
Yeah, this is huge for them, being able to get that stop. And Kevin and I talked about this at the half. The key to them is being able to get a stop and go get a score early and being able to set the tone for the second half, knowing, hey, we're definitely not out of this game. We're not going to roll over and quit, and that there's some fight left in it.
And by the way, I have been informed there's a timeout being taken by the West, so now they're down to 2 timeouts. East have all 3. I have been informed, Alan Dietz, that even though it's a 23-point lead and there's a chance of a 35-point lead or more if the West continue to show their dominance, if you will, over the East All-Stars, that it will still be a regular clock. Even though it's the All-Star game and normally it's a running clock, 35-point lead, they have said, nope, we're going to keep the clock running regular. We're not going to have a running clock to make things go fast.
See if they keep the ball on the ground here. Is again Joshua McBride going to line up next to Geronimo Sanchez.
Sanchez, handoff, McBride up the middle. Dropped this time by number 48, Rob Lang. We mentioned his name many times the other day, or in the first half of the game, actually, Allen, making some big stops there. In number 48, even made some big causes for fumbles. 2nd and 9, a pickup of 1, we just been informed.
So it looks like Joshua McBride going off. Here comes big number 39, Sean Davis. He'll be in the backfield with Geronimo Sanchez here for this 2nd down and 9.
Sanchez, man to his right. Instead, he'll throw. Catch made, number 5. Brought down by number 16, a little shoe collar tackle. That, of course, was Gavin Gibson grabbing DeQuan Anthony, but DeQuan Anthony has put themselves into the W Energy red zone, Alan Dietz, and the East All-Stars are on the doorstep to try to punch back in for 6.
DeQuan Anthony, wide receiver out of Grays Creek, 56 yards per game, 8 touchdowns.
Keeping it. Geronimo Sanchez, man, open man, fired. He overshot it. It's incomplete. In the numbers. Tried to get to Javonte Brooks. It's incomplete.
Yeah, Javonte Brooks was wide open in the end zone, and Geronimo Sanchez was rolling to his left. And it was kind of awkward as Javonte Brooks had to kind of turn from his left shoulder trying to get around to his right shoulder. It hit his hands, but just couldn't quite bring it in.
And now we will see Geronimo set himself up again. Sanchez, the 6'3", 225-pound quarterback from Cape Fear. And Allen, if you're the East All-Stars, Sanchez, the coach, he wants him in the end zone. Hopefully, Jason Battle will see that. Instead, they hold on to the football. Sanchez will. 4 defenders in red stopping Sanchez. He might get maybe a yard or 2.
I like that play. Sean Davis, again, the big 6'1", 220-pound running back out of East Duplin, lined up beside him and actually ran in front of Geronimo Sanchez, kind of opening up a hole there, and he was able to gain a few yards. And again, I think this is probably 2 downs to try to get the first down. They're going to have to get to about the 1 or 2 yard line of the West All-Stars to get this first down.
Sanchez barking signals to his leaders and of his team. It looks like it might be a setup for number 39 of Sean Davis. Instead, A timeout will be taken by the East All-Stars. This is their first timeout, so both teams, Alan, are down to 2 timeouts remaining in regulation at the All-Star game.
Yeah, 6:58 left here in the third quarter, and I like what the East has done here. They've mixed in some inside runs with some quick, short passes, and they're not letting that big defensive line for the West have any time to get to the quarterback, and they've been able to move the ball here.
Well, Braxton Cutchin, East All-Stars sipping on the doorstep to punch in, sipping the cup to break the goal line to try to do it. We got to see if they can make something happen here.
Right, and don't be surprised if you see Geronimo Sanchez have to roll out and give him an easy read, and if not, use his legs to try and make this a 4th and short that I imagine they'll probably go for.
They will probably go for this thing here as we'll watch this one more time.
Looks like it's 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8. Low snaps. Geronimo Sanchez. He'll keep the football. He's pressured by 2. Throw made. Instead, it's intercepted. Interception by the West All-Stars.
They're going to run it all the way back.
He's got helpers. He is running from the 30 to the 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, West All-Stars.
Xavier Porter.
Number 14, Xavier Porter. Hey, Porter! Hey, Porter! In the words of Johnny Cash, he just lit up the scoreboard here in Greensboro.
Ran it all the way out of the end zone, down the field, and that is about a 102-yard interception return there for Xavier Porter out of West Charlotte. And I
if you're
hate to
keeping
say,
track, that's the 3rd pick 6 on the defense for the West All-Stars on the East today.
right now 26 points. Right now the officials are gathering. What are they looking at down there?
You've got a flag right here at the 6-yard line. Back here at the 6-yard line.
So this might not be a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why they threw it because I was watching him trek down the sideline and block it, so I don't know what it was.
Or is it for excessive celebration, though?
Oh, no, it's way back here. It looks like it's going to be holding on the West.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct after the fact, too, so it's be first down.
So, unsportsmanlike conduct on the West All-Star. Alan, this is going to take everything away there.
Well, at the end of the day, that was an absolutely horrible throw. Geronimo Sanchez was under pressure there and threw off of his back foot. Ball went way up in the air, and Xavier Porter he looked like the intended receiver. And there's been a couple of these, all 3 of these interceptions. And again, are they bad reads or are they bad routes? I don't know. But
so you agree with them taking the touchdown away?
Well, I don't know about that, but what I can tell you is that was a terrible throw by Geronimo Sanchez.
Gotcha.
But, this goes from being a 102-yard touchdown return to
you're literally being pushed all the way to the
2-yard line.
Yeah, so literally the East All-Stars are going to get 1st and goal, I guess.
Yeah, that's about a 98-yard penalty. No, not 1st and goal, because it happened after the interception.
You're right.
It was on the return. So the West has got the ball, but
they're literally mired in their end zone, so this could be threatening for safety, if you will. Instead, we got a whistle, and now the referees are going to have a powwow on the subject now.
Now, Caden Davis is in at quarterback now for the West All-Stars, and you got to think he's going to have Amari Akers lined up alongside him that you may see some inside handoffs here, even a quarterback run, just try and get this ball out of the end zone.
All that hype for nothing, as Alan mentioned, man. 102 yards by Xavier Porter. Yeah, unfortunately, the yellow laundry changes everything, and we just see that happen again.
Well, let's see what the West is going to do here on their own 2-yard line. The most important thing for the West is they stopped the East from getting that touchdown.
That's right.
Though.
Yeah.
And that touchdown wouldn't have necessarily got the East back into this game, but if the East could get another stop on the West, then you might have been seeing a shift here. And every time the East starts to get some momentum, something happens and the West is able to take it back.
So here we go with a 1st and 10, but mired in the end zone.
Safety.
It's a QB keeper. They couldn't get it out.
No.
It is a. Did he get away from
About a half
I think he
yard
did.
line.
Boy, I am telling you. Kevin, when you talk about being lucky, the West All-Stars are maybe half an inch from the 1 yard line from getting a safety there on the East All-Stars defense.
Yeah, he tackled him in the end zone, but he got out at about the half-yard line.
I mean, the ball literally.
He got tackled, but the ball was half away from half a yard.
I'm right here. I'm looking down the goal line. I'm looking right at Braxton. He's right across the way looking right at me.
He literally just got it across the goal line there to prevent a safety. And we'll see once again, maybe, he's lining up in the shotgun.
In the shotgun and a whistle again now. Now we got a penalty, a flag on the play. It's going to be against the West All-Stars. We'll pause for station identification. The 78th East-West All-Star game on the Community Radio Network from Greensboro.
This is the Community Radio Network, WCRN, 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Smithfield, North Carolina. Proud to be in the USA. We are CRN.
There was a flag on the play, Allen, but where do you go?
Yeah, it was half of a yard penalty.
Inches maybe away from the goal line. And this time the quarterback will throw. He overthrew his man. It's incomplete. Number 7, intended for Arian Tate. Unfortunately, it is incomplete, and you're looking at about now, what, a third and 12, I believe?
Yeah, from about the half-yard line. The closest person to that ball was the East defensive back, Yondes Baker. Out of Jacksonville.
Kevin, if you're Coach J.K. Atkins for Freedom, I know you got a big lead. You're up by 23. You just got a touchdown taken away by Porter that was going to be 102 yards. But if you're these guys, you want to get this ball out of the end zone and maybe just punt the football, give it back to the East.
I go for it and burn them.
The throw. Catch made, but it's still short. It was intended. It was the number 13 of Zeke Gillespie. Gillespie caught the football, but it's 4th and 5, maybe 4th and 6.
Yeah,
they're going to punt the football in the end zone,
and it basically just gave them enough room to punt the ball. Zeke Gillespie out of Swain County, 112 yards per game this year, 9 touchdowns, and he was able to gain enough yards there to get it, as you said, to about 4th and 5.
Yeah, they got no choice but to send out Eli Fulcher. The smart thing to do. I mean, I know you're up by 23, Allen. Maybe you want to do some razzle-dazzle. Maybe you do want to do some crazy moves. But I don't know if I'd put myself in a predicament like that as close as the East All-Stars are in the red zone and close to the goal line.
So Kamarian Larry has lined up for the East All-Stars on the West 45-yard line. So the East should get this ball back in good field position, and they've got to capitalize.
Yes.
The West didn't run but about a minute off the clock there, so 5:19 still left here in the third quarter.
If you don't score East All-Stars in this next series, that you're literally getting the ball. Did we hear somebody's getting ejected?
No, it was a double conduct call on the West team, so they backed them up half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, I mean,
wow. When it rains, it pours.
The kicker is on the back line of their own end zone, and if this is not a perfect snap here, it could go out the back of the end zone, or
it could be a safety, and then it could be they get the football again for the East All-Stars.
He could step on the line back there if they're not careful.
And if he steps over the line, that's a safety as well, but he does get the ball off. He kicks it, but it's going to be the ball's in its own little world right now, and it's going to give him at least a gift all the way to the 46.
Yeah, it was a pretty
47.
A pretty good punt there. Good snap. Punter was able to get the ball off, and it's going to roll to, looks like, the 46-yard line of the West. That's where the East is going to have the ball at here for this series.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a gift if you're the East All-Stars. Braxton will check in with you, Mr. Cutchin, for an All-State sideline report in just a moment. Alan.
They have made a change at quarterback for the East now, and Terrence McCormick Jr. from New Bern's in.
Yeah, we'll see what number 12 will be able to do. And not really much of anything different of what we saw from Sanchez.
Well, part of the reason I think you've seen Sanchez in there so long is he's 6'3". Terrence McCormick is 5'10", and I'll say at best 160 pounds, and tried to run the ball there himself in the middle and slipped. I mean, look how much bigger the running back Sean Davis is. Sean Davis is 6'1".
Let's see now what he'll do, and this man's running, QB keeper.
McCormick.
All right now, McCormick on his feet, and he's driving. Heading already to the 35, a pickup of what, about 12 or 13, and you'll move the chains. It'll be a first down. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be on a 3rd and 3 coming up here.
Did a good job there, did McCormick. Fake the inside handoff to Sean Davis. Now Geronimo Sanchez back in, as well as Terrence McCormick Jr. So both quarterbacks in here for the East.
Hey, Bree, try to back up a little bit so we can at least see the yardsticks or put it in your view. There you go. All right, let's try this now.
Straight up the middle with Sanchez. Didn't work.
And did not work. I mean, the defense, 25 and 70 in red. Leo Hauser-Rosrich, as well as Isa Evans and Aiden Black, number 70, does not let Terrence McCormick Jr. go anywhere.
Well, that was actually Sanchez.
And Sanchez, actually, again, too. Yeah.
McCormick, they had lined him up out at wide receiver. Now Sanchez coming back off as they're going to go for it on 4th down, and looks like it'll be up to Terrence McCormick Jr. here to try and help him out here with about 3 yards or so to go here on 4th down.
Yeah, and what did you say? They have no choice in the matter as well. I mean, that what we're seeing, there's no choice but to just try to make something happen. Almost helmet to helmet contact.
Whoa.
16 into McCormick, and now it's starting to get a little chippy, and it might be a scrum. They're getting angry over there.
Well, the flag was, they had already
flag on the play at the 40.
They had already thrown a flag, which I thought maybe for holding, but there may be another flag here as McCormick went out to the sideline, and he got just rocked by number 16, Gavin Gibson. They talked at the middle of the field there and slapped helmets, and looks like it's going to be a holding call on the East, and they're not going to call anything there over on the sideline. McCormick got close. He got to about a yard or two away, but just couldn't quite get there. So it'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, everything y'all saw on the sidelines was the West just slapping each other's helmets. It wasn't really. They weren't messing with nobody from the East. It was just a slap fest on the helmet from the West.
All right. Okay.
So the West back out there, and they've got Cade Keller back at quarterback. Wide open to the receiver there, making a couple of nifty moves there on the sidelines. Whoa, that's going to be a penalty.
That is going to draw a flag.
That's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, here comes the laundry fly now.
The ball went to Moses Morris, and I believe that was number 44, Luke Faulkner, the linebacker for the East, with a late hit out of bounds. And that'll probably be a personal foul on the East. Cade Keller completing that pass out to Moses Morris.
.37 and a flag on the play. Obviously, this is going to be a penalty that. Are they going to offset Allen, or do you think it's just going to be on that one man from the West that made the hit? We'll see with the white hat calls here.
I think it's going to be. I don't know. Maybe they're picking it up.
Offsetting penalties. Holding is called on the East.
A personal foul on the East.
And okay, so there's two penalties that they're going to offset each other.
Yeah, two personals.
Yeah. And again, our view is not towards the press box at the main tower. We're in the away, towers of the for the radio booth for the All-Star game. And there's a catch made. Keller going to 9. Hudson Cooper, and the catch is made, and they are heading towards the W Energy red zone. I believe he got it around outside the 20.
And Hudson Cooper from right here at Grimsley, 46.5 yards per game, 12 touchdowns this year. That's going to get the ball all the way to the 25 of the East. The East has not been good in coverage.
No. And there goes now Keller. Keller, room to run. He'll throw. Anybody there? Yes, touchdown. Touchdown, East All-Stars. Give it to number 9.
Hudson Cooper, hometown guy.
West All-Stars have scored again, I meant to say.
It was wide open in the end zone. Cade Keller, we've seen him do this a couple of times. They kind of stepped up in the pocket and looked like he was going to run. That brought Yondez Baker, the defensive back, up and just left Cooper in the end zone there by himself.
36-7. That's that touchdown that got taken away for Porter. That was 102 yards. They got it back. This will now give them, if they make the PAT, and it looks like there's a conversation now going on with the coaches and Eli Fulcher, and now they're taking a delay of game called on the West All-Stars. So 5-yard penalty on the West. They get the touchdown, Allen, but then they get a penalty, and they got to back up 5 yards for the PAT now.
Yeah, and Eli Fulcher, he kicked a 48-yard field goal this year for Oak Grove, so this will move it back 5 yards to the 15. We'll see what he can do here with this extra point.
Extra point blocked. No good.
A couple of guys got in there. Looked like the 48 of Zion Wright was one of the players that got a hand on it, and they would have blocked that extra point.
So it is 36-7. West All-Stars running away with one here at the All-Star game. W Energy provides high-quality energy drinks with a blend of natural ingredients, ensuring a clean and effective energy boost without the crash, later, or even the jitters. W Energy is committed to helping individuals stay energized and perform at their best. When you need to have a little energy boost without all the lag or fatigue, let W Energy take care of your body today. Use the promo code CRN for 10% off of your order every time. W Energy. Big thanks to W Energy, a proud partner of the Community Radio Network and sponsor of the Red Zone. And this game is heading to the final 3 minutes of the third quarter in the second half. And now the East All-Stars will pick it up around the 4. They need a big drive. They don't get it outside the 20. That was number 2 on the return.
Taquan Ellerby Jr. From Red Springs.
And number 18, Kyrie Milner making the stop in red. Braxton, the East is just struggling today, man. They cannot get anything to go their way as you give us another East All-Stars All-State Sideline Report.
Yeah, it just feels like they have been in their own way all day, and it feels like every time they go one step forward, they go 2 steps back. And if they could just stay out of their own way, they would probably be in this game, but just can't do it to save their life.
Yeah, these mistakes hurting them. By the way, 56 degrees just after 3 o'clock, a perfect day for football. Overcast as number...
Yeah, that's the other quarterback, Terrence McCormick Jr.
And it seems to me, Alan, that head coach Jason Battle of Rocky Mount, Will Bland, William Bird, Scott Loosemore, Benjamin Penny, and Jonathan Sherman, it seems to me that the coaching staff now are... I don't want to say they're at a stalemate, but they're in desperation. If they can bring in Sanchez, if they can bring in McCormick, if they can do a little razzle-dazzle or options or pitches, anything that you can do. Flea flicker.
Yeah, they use
Find a play. Find a play.
They've got McCormick out at wide receiver.
And now Geronimo Sanchez, big throw. Deep ball, intercepted. There you go. Number 17, Jeremiah Deese, defensive back from Northeast Guilford. You heard Coach Brown talk about how many Guilfords there are around this area in Allen Dietz. There goes Deese intercepting the football, Dietz. Deese to Dietz.
14.2 tackles this year per game, 5 sacks. Nice 6'3", 200-pound defensive back there for Jeremiah Deese. I believe that's the fourth interception now for Geronimo Sanchez. And, again, that ball was just he really didn't have a lot of pressure on him, but it was just thrown up kind of as a prayer to Terrence McCormick Jr. And Terrence McCormick at 5'10" and Deese at 6'3". I mean, you know who's going to win that battle.
And right now, 36-7, and the West All-Stars. Kevin, I think they could put this one to bed. I mean, they pretty much already got a 29-point lead, but this pretty much would, in today's standards of high school football, calls a running clock, and now there's a penalty, and they're going to push the West All-Stars back. Down to you on the field.
Yeah, for some odd reason, they got the ball and then took a delay of game. I don't know what that was all about, but, yeah, I think they've already put this one to bed. I'm pretty sure that but they're not going to take their foot off the gas. They never do.
Yeah, they're not going to let up.
Oh, absolutely not. So I look for a big play right here.
Yeah, Caden Davis again back at quarterback, and I believe Amari Akers lined up beside him.
Boy, what a throw. Interception, number 24. He's got the football. Kamarian Larry. And Larry's going to intercept the football. The first mistake by the West All-Stars today.
He had 11 interceptions this year for Martin County, and Caden Davis threw that ball to a receiver, bounced off the receiver's hands, and went right to Kamarian Larry.
On the numbers, it looked like actually, Alan, that number one of Caden Davis, when he threw the football, maybe there was a little hesitation, or maybe the East defense got to him and pressured him. But then when that happened, it was Kamarian Larry to give a little spark of life back to the East. You got good field position. You're down inside the W Energy red zone. Make a play. Here comes Geronimo on his feet. Geronimo loses his helmet. He goes down, loses his helmet as they bring him down at around the 10.
That was a hard hit. Jalen Glover, the defensive back from Lake Norman, making the tackle. And helmet came off there, as you said, for Geronimo Sanchez.
And I got to wonder, Alan, if it wasn't buckled, strapped like it should have been.
Because it didn't
it didn't look like it was that hard of a hit.
Yeah. I mean, it was a nice stick, but not anything dramatic. So he's off. That brings Terrence McCormick Jr. back on at quarterback.
Yeah, remember, per the rules, if you lose your helmet, you've got to at least go off to the sideline for a play. And so McCormick will keep the football.
I think that was a first down.
Terrence McCormick Jr., the 5'10", 160-pound QB from New Bern, will move the chains and give a first down and a first and goal for the East All-Stars.
Yeah, about the...
Boy, don't jinx it.
6-yard line maybe here. And they brought Geronimo Sanchez back out.
Yes, sir.
Joshua McBride in the backfield with him.
90 seconds away from the end of the third quarter. And here we go now. Sanchez back in. He goes to McCormick. It's a QB option. And the man sweeps right. Does he break the plane? No. He's down just outside the 1.
It's actually Taquan Ellerby Jr., the wide receiver. He came in motion, and Sanchez flipped the ball to him, and looks like he got it right to about the 1-yard line.
It was number 12. No, not McCormick. It was Ellerby Jr., as you mentioned it. Here comes the opportunity now.
You can just about sneak it
You
here.
got both quarterbacks on the field. It looked like it was going to go to McCormick. Instead, you went back to Ellerby. But now with the play clock at 10, East All-Stars, you thinking a little tush-push? QB keeper Sanchez, Geronimo, he's in the end zone. Touchdown, East All-Stars, finally.
Yeah, it lined him up there in the shotgun, and he just went straight ahead. He only had to get a yard, and I thought you could do a QB sneak there, but that worked just as well. And for the first time since the first quarter now, the East All-Stars able to get back on the scoreboard and turn that interception into a touchdown.
A touchdown there as an interception started by number 24, Kamarian Larry, has now allowed the extra PAT to be good. And just like that, it is Francisco Garcia Rodriguez to tack on the extra point, and it is now 36-14. Let's check in with Braxton. Finally, BC, they're on the board. Haven't scored since the first quarter. Can we see a change into the guard here? Is it too far gone, my friend?
I wouldn't say it's exactly too far gone yet, because to be honest, if I'm the coach right now, I would probably try and implement like an onside kick or something to maybe see if I can steal a possession. And at that point, if you get a possession, you go make it a 2-score game going into the fourth quarter. So it's not too far gone yet, but if enough time goes off, it definitely could get unreachable.
What are you thinking, Alan? Onside kick?
I'm just looking, and it doesn't look like they've got their hands players out there like you would think there would be some wide receivers and guys out there. So at least the way they're lined up right now, it looks like to me they're going to just try to have a regular kickoff here.
All right.
But it could be a fake.
Could be a fake, a little razzle-dazzle. You never know.
Nope.
And now they're going to kick it deep, man. It's going to go behind the back of the end zone here at Grimsley, and it will be now a 1st and 10 for the West All-Stars. And
so the defense has got a little momentum now after that interception by Kamarian Larry, and we'll see. Looks like they're probably going to bring Cade Keller back on at quarterback, who's just had a heck of a day today. If there's a MVP, I think he may be the one.
Yeah.
And he is coming back out.
Back on the field, 36-14. Hearing the band pumped up. We ain't heard them in a while because there wasn't any reason to play. They get to cue up the band here now, as it's right now a throw. Let's see what he does. He's going to be a QB keeper. Hold on to it, Sellers. Now he'll fire. Now he'll launch. Almost caught it with one hand. It's incomplete. And almost picked off by number 9 of Hudson Cooper.
I think a flag's down, and that would kind of be in the area of holding. And that was a dangerous throw there by Cade Keller. Kind of threw against his body running right and threw it to Jordan Cleaves. Yondez Baker was there for the East to kind of break it up.
They said an eligible receiver.
Yeah.
So a flag on the play and an eligible receiver on the West All-Stars.
And that happens whenever it looks like the quarterback's probably going to run the ball, so the offensive linemen are going out to block, and instead he threw the ball and going to back them up 5 yards.
Hello to Brandon Vick. He was cheering on the Hunt Warriors last week. They fell short in the state championship 8A game last Saturday in Durham. And I envy you and Josh. Y'all were doing Tarboro and Murphy, but that game did not turn out like I thought it was going to be.
No, neither game ended up being very close. Kind of like this. But listen, hey, it's 2nd down, 14, so see what the East has got here in the fourth quarter.
And the fourth quarter is coming up next from Greensboro. Stay with us.
You said you'd never buy your... Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Check the backseat Cutchin over there, jamming to his favorite infomercial on CRN. Welcome back to coverage from Jamieson Stadium on Joe Franks Field, the 78th edition. Could you imagine this game has been around 78 years? That's as long as NASCAR. NASCAR was around in 1949.
Yeah.
So has the North Carolina Coaches Association, Alan. And I only reference football and racing because we both work in that now. So here we go now. 4th down, ladies and gentlemen. And Sellers with fire as he just got rocked. He got dropped around the 5. Wow, Cade Keller just got his bell rung, and they're going to send in.
No, it's 3rd down now. He was just able to get that pass off, but he absolutely got clobbered.
He did.
By number 75, Jamari Williams from Palisades.
Hudson Cooper came up to him and he said, "Are you okay, buddy? Are you all right?"
285 pounds just ran into Cade there.
It's like running into a parked car, if you will. Hey, 2020?
Yeah.
Carolina, Tampa Bay. Wow, we're looking at some NFL scores. Right now, low snap, go back to Keller. Keller now, man open, had a lane, and Arian Tate will find the gap. He's about a yard shy from moving the chains for a 1st down. It's going to be about a, 4th and 1?
All right, they're going for it. They've got a big enough lead that they're
4th and 3 coming up, and I say you're going to go for it too, Alan, as you said. I mean, when you got a 36-14 score, you can do these types of gambles.
Well, we'll see, Dave.
Or they changed their mind, Alan. Here comes Eli Fulcher. He's going to punt it. The kicker from Oak Grove at 6 foot 185. Eli Fulcher will punt the football.
So again, the East is going to have a shot here at some good field position.
Oh, it almost got blocked. Jalen King got his paws on it, but it still goes to 24.
Kamarian Larry.
And let's watch Kamarian Larry move up the field to midfield. Alan, if we had a replay, you literally could have seen Jalen King almost block that punt from Fulcher.
Yeah, they've gotten close a couple of times today, but haven't been able to get a hand on it. But the East will have the ball back here. Looks like they're going to start from their 42-yard line.
78 years. By the way, the 78th North Carolina East-West All-Star Games continue in July. Remind you to go to eastwestallstars.com. Thanks again to Phil Weaver and Jim Hanks and everybody that is involved with the All-Stars. Monday, July 20th, basketball from Greensboro Coliseum. Tuesday, July 21st, soccer right here at Jamieson Stadium. That's what I was trying to tell you about the new middle school behind us here, Alan. That was not here back in July.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's a great-looking school. Tried to do a quick pass out, did Geronimo Sanchez to Terrence McCormick Jr. Ball hit the ground, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
I can't tell you how happy I was when he said, "Hey, Wesley, guys, you can park over here in the." I was like, because we were like, "You're going to carry all this equipment up the hill." That's what we've done since 2021 at the field house, because you had no other choice in the matter.
Right.
Here we go now. Let's watch here. Geronimo, ball deflected, diving for it was number 11 for West. Bubba Sims, the linebacker, couldn't get there in time.
Yeah.
We're looking at a 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 10 coming up.
Looked like Rob Lang, defensive lineman from Northwest Guilford, was able to get his hand up and tip that ball there. 6.7 tackles per game this year, 6.5 sacks.
Hear the crowd yelling, defense, defense. Starting to see all this come alive here. Thanks for all of our listeners that are joining us. By the way, on our CRN YouTube, that is CRN Sports Network on YouTube, we will have this game up later tonight. Number 41 up the middle, or to the right, if you will. That was Zeke Reed.
Big guy.
Zeke Reed from Grace Creek. That's down near Fayetteville, Allen.
6'4", 205 pounds. And, again, that was just a quick, short pass out. And looks like he's going to maybe be a yard short here and it'll be 4th and 1 right. And there's a penalty, so
flag on the play.
Yeah, so that's going to be tacked on to that gain there by the East All-Stars, and that's going to move them all the way up now to the West 35.
It was a 15-yard face mask penalty.
A face mask penalty on the West, back 15 yards. And now the East All-Stars will take advantage of this and move their way upfield. Number 39 running the football. That, of course, was Sean Davis, the running back from East Duplin.
I just wonder if the East All-Stars will look back and say, could we have run it a little bit more? Because it seems like these inside runs and quick slants have worked pretty well for the East. And granted, they did have one fumble on the inside handoff, but all these interceptions now, McCormick back at quarterback.
Yeah, and let's see now what McCormick will do. Totally different style than Geronimo, as we've seen as well from Geronimo Sanchez. And he is, it looks to me, from when we've seen when Terrence McCormick Jr. comes on the field, here's the deal. Sanchez is 6'3", 230 pounds. And then you got McCormick that is 5'10". He's my height and 160 pounds.
Yeah, they run.
So Warner would make him 140.
Yeah, it looks like they're using him kind of as an option quarterback, either inside handoffs or him taking it. And he did that time, but there was a hold on the play, so that's going to move the East All-Stars back now to the West 41. And it'll be 2nd and long.
2nd and long. They're heading their way with a, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, the flag's gone. That face mask penalty was while the flag was on. Geronimo Sanchez, he fires. We've seen him fire before, but he can't get to his man in time. Incomplete. Intended for the deuce of Taquan Ellerby Jr. on the left end zone pylon, but couldn't break through Allen.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty good pass there as he was able to throw it to the outside shoulder, and Taquan Ellerby had a step on the defensive back, but just a little bit too much on it.
Sanchez will throw the football. McCormick likes to run the football unless there's an option or a pitch or a flea flicker that's come from Sanchez. For the most part, we've not seen the throwing from McCormick like Sanchez does. Here we go now with a 3rd and long. Sanchez right up the middle, fires to number 3. That is Javante Brooks, and then he gets dropped by 2 or 3 red defenders.
They tried to do an inside screen there, wide receiver screen, and it just didn't materialize, so he might have maybe gained a yard. It's going to be 4th and long, and the East at this point has no choice but to go for it.
I mean, Braxton, there's a timeout being called. The East All-Stars are taking a timeout. But am I right, though, BC? You've got no choice in the matter right now but to try to go for it. You're down to your last timeout, and you literally are down by close to 20-plus points. Anything you can do is better than just giving in and punting.
Right, and I don't like that play call there on 3rd down. It was something really close to the line of scrimmage. I know you're down, and you've got to try and make this, a reachable, attempt to move the sticks. But, running something on the line of scrimmage, trying to spring it free, I get what they're trying to do, but I'd rather push it down the field just a little bit more to make that 4th down a little more manageable.
And in all honesty, if they do that, even with all the interceptions that Geronimo Sanchez has had today, if it gets intercepted, that's essentially a punt. If it doesn't get intercepted, then it's going to be a good play and possibly get you a 1st down.
Yeah, Alan, I just wanted to make sure our eyes aren't deceiving us. I'm looking at the big, massive video board over there here at Joe Franks Field, and the 2nd and ball on the wherever is not working. It's not showing. Or they're not operating it, I guess. I don't know. They're only showing the down and the score of the timeouts and what quarter we're in.
It looks like it's about
4th and 18?
Yeah, that looks about right to me.
4th and 18, and Sanchez will go for it. Here comes Geronimo. Instead, he'll run, and no, he gets dropped. 49-0 on the defense. Adrian Solomon and Camden Gillespie taking over, giving the ball back to the West.
Well, Camden Gillespie out of Mooresville's had some really good plays today. Got that interception and ran it back, and another sack. He had 8 sacks on the season. And Geronimo Sanchez kind of hesitated there, and he was able to get his hands on him, so the West will take over now at their own 42.
The East All-Stars giving it back to the West, and that right now has a 36-14 score, almost a block screen there, and instead they're going to blow the play dead as number 13. Zeke Gillespie caught the football, but I think they're saying Caden Davis.
Yeah, it's incomplete.
Incompleted there, yeah. So it'll now be a 2nd and 10, and man, if you're the East All-Stars right now, and you got to wonder if you're the West too, Alan. Go out there and have some fun.
Yeah.
This is your last, quarter of football for some of you. Going down to Davis. Davis right up the middle as it's there. Yeah, there's number 30 with the carry. That, of course, is a gain of 3 for Amari Akers. That's the running back from Northern Guilford.
Yeah.
You got Northeast Guilford. You've got Southern Guilford. You got Northern Guilford, Northeast Guilford, Northwest Guilford, Southeast Guilford.
Jeez. It's like, where do you go to school?
You heard
Guilford.
Exactly. It's a Guilford direction.
Which
That's all
one?
I know. Direction Guilford. 36-14, midfield. Here comes now Davis, and he just got leveled as well. Number 40 with the tackle. Jalen King, the linebacker from Cleveland. Yes, sir. I've announced his name before. Cleveland Ram from the Greater Neuse. Braxton right up the middle and slamming, making a big stop there for him from the Rams.
Yeah, we've called his name a few times this afternoon and this season. He just came in untouched. The quarterback didn't see him at all and paid the price on the hit.
He flew through the air there, and he's had a heck of a year this year. 11 sacks.
Gray pants, red jerseys for West, white jerseys and blue for East. And they're donning their school helmet. And I love that. As they punt the football, Eli Fulcher.
They got close again.
Fulcher will punt it. Here comes the East, and he lost the ball. He lost the ball for just a minute, and by the time 16 got there, he was able to get back under the ball. He was of Gavin Gibson.
Field's getting a little sloppy there in the middle. We've seen several players, including Kamari and Larry there.
And this isn't a turf field either.
Yeah.
This is a grass field.
We've seen him slip, and he did there.
I think the word that I want to use for our audience in radio, there's a lot of divots in the field. You hear us talking about equestrian horse racing when horses are on the track or on the grass and it divots the field. Maybe, and that's what we're seeing right now. A lot of divots, a lot of drops, dips, a lot of dirt clods, if you will, on the field here.
A lot of traffic on this field this year for sure.
It certainly has. Back-to-back state championships for Grimsley as Geronimo fires intercepted again for the 7th interception of the game for the East All-Stars from the West, Allen, and also 3 interceptions for pick sixes today also. Unbelievable.
Bubba Sims from Walter M. Williams with that interception, had an interception in the regular season, and to Geronimo Sanchez's defense on that one, his arm got hit there, so he couldn't get it all the way in there, and ball just kind of floated up and was able to be caught by Bubba Sims.
And you're on the doorstep. Kevin Stump will toss it to you in a moment, but you're on the doorstep of punching in another sixes. There goes the Keller to Morris. Moses up the middle, maybe a pickup of 1, maybe 2. Down to you, though. You're on the doorstep, Kevin, of pretty much putting this thing to bed. I mean, it's pretty much far gone. Under 7 minutes left in regulation, but what a job by the West.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just dominating the defense. It's just the West is playing chess and the East is playing checkers at this point.
It's a very nice way of describing it. And checkmate, Alan Dietz, is about to be declared as well.
Almost a touchdown there from Cade Keller. Pretty good coverage on that one. Went to number 8, Ethan Driver, and Driver kind of bobbled the ball a little bit, but just couldn't bring it in.
36-14. They'll come back on the field. And the West All-Stars, you know what? They're going to try to go and score again here. Do whatever you want to do because this game is so far gone. You can start having fun and make some plays. Bringing in some more players, Alan. They're coming on. And now we'll see what number 10, Cade Keller, the quarterback from Watauga, will do. And instead we call for a timeout for the West All-Stars. And they're down to their final timeout as well.
Yeah, it's been a good connection today for quarterback Cade Keller and Ethan Driver. They've connected several times today, and you would think maybe that would be where they're going to try to go here on third down. It's about 3rd and 11.
Boy, look at this. Tie game, still 20. Carolina, Tampa Bay. I know you're still kind of looking at updates of it. And
yeah, the Panthers got a shot here, 2:34
Are you on the
left.
Panthers bandwagon now since the
Well,
Chiefs got eliminated or something? Or
not a bandwagon. I mean, the Panthers are my second favorite team after the Chiefs.
Okay.
And obviously, the Chiefs don't have a lot to cheer about this year. My kid Hampton, he loves the Panthers, so be big if they could get this win over Tampa Bay today.
Yeah, if we can pack up and get on the road as quickly as possible when they're heading back down 40 to Smithfield, Raleigh, I'll be listening to Sirius XM Radio and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here comes a throw.
Yep.
Catch made, nice little option pitch. It's good.
We've seen them do that a couple of times.
Yes, they did, and they scored from it too, Alan.
Yeah, ball goes to Cade Keller. And that connection from Cade Keller to Ethan Driver, and then Driver pitches it to Moses Morris, and it's going to be about 4th and maybe 3 here.
Yeah, fourth down, and I think they're going to go for it. Pittsburgh and Detroit, by the way, that will be played at Ford Field, so that's going to be a hostile game. But we'll obviously see what happens. And your Chiefs. Oh, where are the Chiefs at? Have they already played?
Oh,
they're playing right now, losing to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, boy,
They've
the Tennessee Titans.
3rd-string quarterback in right now.
And speaking of another quarterback, there's Cade Keller. Fires, end zone, West, touchdown. And that should do it.
Nice slant again inside to Hudson Cooper, the Grimsley High School player on his home field, and able to maybe get one more last touchdown for him here.
And this should make it 42-14. And now the PAT coming up from Eli Fulcher.
These mountain boys from the west beating the beach boys from the east.
Yeah, Cade Keller going again to number 9, Hudson Cooper. And now Eli Fulcher to tack on the extra point, the hold, the snap, the place by Ethan Driver. It is up, it is through the uprights, and it is good.
And again, close to a block there. Alexander Chapman Evans for the East coming in, just barely missed it from Enlow.
43-14. Kevin, back down to you. This game is pretty much done for, but the West are still finding the end zone, scoring, making some razzle-dazzle. The pitch option we just saw gives them a big score here in Greensboro.
Yeah, absolutely. All I can hear is the band blaring, and they are blaring loud and playing proud. And, I mean, it's just, it's checkmate. I mean, that's about all you can say about it. I mean, 43-14, there's really not a whole lot left to say. They've pretty much said it and said it on the field. So, I mean, the West is just they're running like clockwork. I mean, it's seamless for them. The coaches have put in the work.
Oh yeah,
and the players have taken to it, and they're just playing flawless.
For Coach J.K. Atkins from Freedom, Ryan Habick as well from Watauga. Habich, as well as Brian Henson, Sherman Holt, Jonathan Alphant, and Joe Rigsby, athletic trainers, Ray Davis and Mark White. Alan Dietz, they're going to be celebrating to ring in the Christmas season of 2025 in 4 short days. And obviously, this is what a performance by the West All-Stars. We saw the West, I think, win 6 out of 2 in the total tally for the state championships, and or 5 out of 3. But the West is just at another level than Eastern football, and we're still seeing it again today.
Yeah, the West, they came in here with a good game plan and dominated at the line of scrimmage, and their defensive backs have done what they needed to do to get these interceptions today. That might be a grounding.
On the grass, intentional grounding maybe?
I think.
When it rains, it pours. There's a flag, and I think we are going to call intentional grounding on the East All-Stars.
Yep, on Geronimo Sanchez there. He was didn't have any time to get rid of the ball, and he just had to throw it away.
Braxton Cutchin, when it rains, it pours, and that's exactly what's happening now. Intentional grounding on the East All-Stars, and you're going back towards your own end zone.
Yeah, it just seems that they can't get out of their own way. I mean, Geronimo was taking an absolute beating in the backfield and just trying to get rid of it, and by doing that, cost himself, penalty yards. So right now, it's just the East can't get out of their own way, and that seems to be the theme for the game. And the West has just been able to assert their dominance.
And again, I think that,
and remember, that's a 5-yard penalty. A 5-yard penalty for intentional grounding at the spot of the foul, and it is a loss of a down as well, Alex. So remember, you went from now 1st down to now 2nd and 15.
Yeah, the ball,
or 2nd and 25, it seems like.
Yeah, the ball's on the East own 4-yard line now. Oh.
And they drop the football, and they go down. It's a safety.
No, a touchdown.
No. Touchdown, West?
Yeah.
Wow, it is a touchdown for the West All-Stars.
Yeah, Geronimo Sanchez. It was a
sure did.
It was a bad snap, and he couldn't get it there. He was standing in the end zone there at the snap, and West, all they had to do was fall on it.
He fumbled the football. Now, if he would have got tackled in the end zone, it would have been a safety. That's what we thought. But actually, he fumbled the football in the end zone, and in doing so, it is a touchdown for the West All-Stars.
And needless to say, that running clock has started now.
No, there's no running clock, though, by the way. Yeah, we wish.
Look.
Oh, wow, it is a running clock. Well, maybe they're trying to get the hell out. They're trying to get out of here now.
Yeah.
We were told there wasn't going to be a running clock. Maybe they changed their mind. Eli Fulcher will add on the extra point.
Yeah, Wesley's exactly right. That's what we were told.
We were told from the boss, Phil Weaver of the NCCA, there would not be a running clock. No 35-point rule, normal clock operation. But now they've stopped the clock with 5:21 left to go, so maybe they just let the clock run while it was doing its thing there.
We'll see. Change of possession. I think it stopped.
I mean, this game's too far gone, by the way. 50-14. Kevin, back down to you. I mean, a little razzle-dazzle, a little option, a little flea flicker, and then what we thought was a safety turned out to be a fumble in the end zone. West covers it. It's a touchdown easily.
Yeah, the quarterback lost it and then picked it back up and then lost it again, and then the West recovered it in the end zone for a touchdown. Yeah, it was just a tornado whirlwind of bad luck for the East. It's just been like that all day.
Well, I was sitting on my front porch in the Piedmont, and a tornado called Grimsley come rolling through town, and the East wasn't prepared for the West. And the nice way of East meets West, right?
And listen,
we're seeing that today.
Geronimo Sanchez had a good year, 15 passing touchdown, 10 rushes, but it has not been today. And looks like a kickoff again. I think Camarion Larry is who received it in the end zone.
Yeah,
so
number 24, Camarion Larry, the defensive back from Martin County. The lights are beginning to illuminate here at Grimsley at Jamieson Stadium on Joe Franks Field, the home of the Grimsley Whirlies, back-to-back state champions, now 3-time state champions under Coach Darryl Brown. Really cool to be able to hear from the head coach to recap the season and pretty much this game and what you're looking for. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to football to fire back up, and they have an official downtime. It is legal. You cannot do any type of training, practice, field work, nothing until the spring.
Hey, and
this is their official down period.
I do want to say, because I think I heard the guys talk about it during the pregame show about the marching bands.
Yes.
Listen, my son Clinton is in the Cox Mill marching band, and they are exactly right. They start practicing in like July.
Yes,
and they have practices just like the football team does.
And I love a marching band at a game. It makes it so much more lively for sure.
Last year was his first year in the high school marching band, and I just couldn't believe what went into it.
Geronimo Sanchez, it's a catch made by number 3. Javante Brooks, he'll catch the football. Hello, Bree. Tell them people you're trying to video there. My goodness. You think you'd realize there's a camera in front of you, Allen, Javante Brooks caught the football, but he was still short behind the first down marker.
Yeah.
Or even the line of scrimmage marker, if you will.
Yeah, didn't gain but a couple yards there, so it's 3rd and 8 here for the East.
3:20 left to go in regulation. The 78th commencement of the annual East-West All-Star Game of North Carolina. As Geronimo Sanchez trying to fire, he will. He launches the football. It's up!
Triple
and
coverage.
It's incomplete this time. It was intended for Taquan Ellerby Jr. from Red Springs, but he was in a triangle defensive red. He couldn't do anything to catch it.
I mean, literally triple coverage there. And
no flags, might I add.
No, just Geronimo Sanchez right now just throwing up prayers. I mean, these balls don't even have a chance. And again, some of it's been he's had a lot of pressure on him today.
Right.
And even when he rolls out like he did that time, he's still got linebackers and defensive ends that are coming up putting pressure on him.
Thank you to Phil Weaver and everybody a part of the NCCA. It's always a privilege, pleasure, honor. We'll be back with you in July for the commencement of the All-Star Games of 78th edition with soccer and basketball in July in Greensboro. And then the 79th All-Star Game for football next December. You heard what Coach Brown said. I love the fact that we're now doing these games, and it is a running clock, as you said, Alan Dietz. It's pretty much down to 2 minutes remaining.
Well, right now, I mean, what you want to see now, I don't think
the game's too far
I
gone,
don't think
right?
we've seen one player get hurt today.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yes, sir.
This is a blowout. It's over, and you just don't want to see any of these kids get hurt and just, finish it off here in this last minute and a half.
Yeah, this one pretty much a done deal as the clock is down to 80 seconds remaining. Hey, by the way, don't forget, coming up tonight on the Community Radio Network at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, join us for the iRacing Snowball Derby presented by Zach's Lawn Care. We've had over 170 entries on the iRacing Virtual World. Alan Dietz dwindled down to 30 to take the green, or 36 to take the green flag tonight. 300 laps. We've called the real Snowball Derby, you and I have, in Pensacola, and the simulation world will have their chance for some big money tonight.
Yep. You'll have a couple of hours at least of doing that
and
tonight.
Driving rest, right?
Yeah.
As Mary Akers will hold on to the football, and Alan Dietz, that should do it. Under a minute remaining here. I think they might shake hands. Well, I think they got to snap one more ball off. The play clock's at 30 seconds. The game clock's at 35. But I think this is pretty much a done deal. This is going to commence the East-West All-Star Game. I know that, Kevin, if you can grab head coach J.K. Atkins, ask one of the other coaches. He's with Freedom, and we'll hear from him maybe Braxton can grab Jason Battle from the Rocky Mount Griffins, and this should do it. But they're going to be like Jack Lingle from Marshall and play to the whistle blows, and ball play broke it up as it looked like Caden Davis was about to launch it into another orbit. But it doesn't matter, Alan Deeks, because this game is over. This game is done. And your final for the 78th East-West All-Star game is 50-14.
Yep, total domination today by the West as the teams will meet midfield here and exchange some hugs and high fives.
Over and completed. And when it's all said and done,
just too many mistakes today by the East to overcome. Too many.
You open the door for these types of mistakes, as you forementioned, and when you do that, the end result is struggle.
Yeah.
And then you start, and I'm not taking anything away from, obviously, Terrence McCormick Jr. or Geronimo Sanchez. But at the end of the day, Alan Deeks, two different quarterbacks, two different styles. You bring in Sanchez, then you bring in McCormick, and it throws everybody else off balance, I believe, on the rhythm.
Yeah, and they didn't really bring McCormick in until the second half, but, with the height differential and everything like that, the West pretty much knew when McCormick came in it was going to be a run, and Sanchez, we talked about it at the beginning of the game, just that size differential for the line on the West, and just too much to overcome for the East.
Braxton, Kevin, if you guys got the coach in your sights, just go ahead and cut your mic on and take over, my friends, so we can pack up, we can get out of here, and we're getting out of here at a pretty more better time than what I thought we were going to be. 50-14, your final. Let's go down to the field.
Hey, I got Coach Atkins with me. Coach Atkins, by your team, what can you say about putting this squad together and what y'all taught each other and learned from each other and had a heck of a game?
What a unique opportunity to bring in a group of young men I don't know and put coaches together and kind of be blended in 4 days. And we had a great time. We really did. Our guys fun being around each other, and man, we played really well, I thought.
Absolutely, had a couple pick sixes. You had a great group of guys, a bunch of good leaders. Had a great game. I'm proud of y'all, and y'all had a good game, and everybody had good sportsmanship. Congratulations.
Thank you
Absolutely,
very much.
thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Freedom coach, J.K. Atkins, the head coach of the West All-Stars. Ryan Habich, as well as Brian Henson, Sherman Holt, Jonathan Olfant, Joe Rigsby, Ray Davis, and Mark White will enjoy the celebration, Alan Dietz, as being the winning coach and team for the 2025 78th annual edition of the North Carolina East-West All-Star Football Game in Greensboro.
Yep. The field.
It looks like All-Stars are being picked for MVP and players, and we're just going to wait for Braxton to grab Jason Battle if he can from Rocky Mount. And what a phenomenal job by the players. And there it is. It looks like number 10, Cade Keller, is going to get the MVP of the game. And did Carolina just get a score there, Alan?
No, they just intercepted Baker Mayfield.
But they're in the lead.
It's over. They're going to get it. Get the win.
That was that win that you said they should have got last week.
I was just expecting a call from my little man.
Tell Hampton we're live on the air. I'll mute your mic real quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you so much to each and everybody for joining us. We're trying to get off the air quicker than usual. But before I go any further, I want to thank everybody that is behind our coverage of the East-West All-Star Game. We will try to see if we can grab Braxton with the coach of Rocky Mount, Jason Battle, to talk about the loss for the East All-Stars. 50-14 the final, as everybody is packing up to celebrate a holly jolly Christmas, and that will commence football for high school on the gridiron for 2025. They'll come back, they'll get ready for the spring, Alan Dietz, and they'll prepare for football for next year. Hey, did you have fun? You called 2 state championship games and an all-star game.
Well, I definitely had fun. I just hope I did a good job. I know racing, and hopefully here with football I did okay.
And obviously, me and you will see each other at Dillon Motor Speedway for the 16th commencement of the New Year's Bash Street Stock Nationals, January the 2nd through the 4th. Let's go down to Braxton. Braxton, have you got Jason Battle, my friend?
He's currently taking pictures right now, but I'll get him in just a second.
Yeah, if we can just run in there, keep your mic on, and just ask if we could get a quick interview. The faster we do that interview, we can get off the air. And Kevin, before I let you go, man, I guess we'll toss it to you before we grab a word with Jason Battle. Your take of the All-Star game, being a part of it, and your thoughts of watching these great players hopefully going somewhere soon in their college endeavors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a great game by both teams. You know, great sportsmanship and great camaraderie by both teams. You know, had a few penalties here and there, but there wasn't no crazy plays. Nobody got in trouble. Everybody acted right, and that's why these kids got picked to be all-stars like this, because they know how to present themselves and their schools and their communities on the football field. So hats off to all the kids that played today.
Coverage of the 78th North Carolina East-West All-Star Game. Thank you to these partners, including Murphy Wainer, orthopedic specialist, as well as Greensboro Parks and Recreation, Guilford County Schools, Greensboro Sports Foundation and Greensboro Sports Council, Cafe Pasta, Golden Corral Restaurant, Al Barnett, and Peter Edmonton. Thank you also to Outback Steakhouse. Boy, they've been eating good the last couple of nights, ain't they?
I bet.
And Jen O'Donnell and Addison Edwards. Thank you for them. Chick-fil-A, the Wyndham Garden Hotel of the East-West All-Star Game, as well as Photo Specialties. We appreciate them.
With some of those boys on the West, I hope those restaurants still got some food left.
Let's go down to Braxton Cutchin. He's standing by with Rocky Mount head coach Jason Battle for the East.
Yep, I'm with Coach here. Coach, not the outcome you wanted from your team here, but what can you say about this week and this preparation? I know it's such an honor to be included in this game. What can you say about your team and your staff this week?
Our team was great all week. Staff was wonderful. Couldn't have had a better staff to work with for a week. I mean, the score of the game was turnovers and self-inflicted penalties. But I was proud. They played all the way through the fourth quarter. Even though, we were down, things went from bad to worse. We continued to play hard. Nobody quit. Nobody gave up, which proved again that these kids were all-stars. They deserve to be here.
Yeah, and they had such a short week to prepare, and they were able to go and often do opportunities, especially at the elementary schools we saw. What can you say about just the experience as a whole after being together with this group of guys for a whole week?
I couldn't ask for a better group to be away from home for a week with. The kids were just wonderful all week. They bought into what we were trying to do. They worked hard. They played hard. They enjoyed being around each other. No incidents, which is always good when you're dealing with kids that don't really know you and you don't know them. But they were more than wonderful. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to coach this group.
All righty, thank you for your time, Coach.
Braxton, your final take of the game, my friend, and a phenomenal job. Enjoyed having you for 4 games at the state championships as well. And when it's all said and done, it's a 50-14 final. West All-Stars will win the game. And by the way, if you're keeping track, Alan, get your thoughts together for closing. The West All-Stars now lead the series 43-32-2 in closing. Braxton, phenomenal job, buddy. You're taking this game.
Yeah, I think Coach just said it right there. The key to the game was turnovers, and that kind of was to their detriment. And they were able to kind of play back and forth, and then late, they got in their own way. And if they were able to keep the turnovers down, this, I think, would have been a real tight game, because when you go by offense and defensive possessions, they kind of were able to hang with the West until later there in the second half, and the game felt out of reach. But, at the end of the day, the turnovers happened, and that's what got them there.
Alan Dietz, your final take of this matchup here at Greensboro. We get out of here at a pretty decent time. We'll pack up and head on out of here. They're all stars in my book. I've always said that in closing. And obviously, at the end of the day, just a lot of mistakes, a lot of fumbles, a lot of self-penalties, and I think that's why the outcome became what it is, 50-14, West over the East.
Well, these kids, these coaches, they'll take a break here over the holidays. I hope everybody will have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But after New Year's, man, coaches are going to be back at it. A lot of these kids are going to be back at it, trying to get ready for some college football. And It'll be back here before you know it in August.
And by the way, there's still a lot of football left to go, no doubt about it. As we move into the winter months, you got the college football playoff, you got the NFL playoffs. Looks like the Carolina Panthers just won.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Steelers will take care of Detroit, and we'll be back for football next year. By the way, don't forget the 78th annual North Carolina East-West All-Star Games continue into the summer. Basketball July 20th and soccer July 21st right here in Greensboro Coliseum and at Jamieson Stadium. Want to say thank you, as always, to everybody behind the North Carolina Coaches Association, the executive directors of Mac Morris and Phil Weaver. Executive Secretary and Clinic Director is Joe Franks. Thank you also to Reed Holmes, David Rogers, and Tim Villa. Thank you to Clayton Nance, game coordinators Reggie Pace and Herc DeGraw. Office manager is Malia Jones. Our man of social media and media coordinating to get us to do the broadcasts include Earl Vaughn Jr. and Jim Sands. Heather Hirschman is the advertising and program manager. For more details, contact the North Carolina Coaches Association at eastwestallstars.com or nccoach.org. Final score from Greensboro today, 50-14. The East-West All-Stars just struggling right out of the gate, and the West All-Stars dominate to get another win to close football at the All-Star Games at Greensboro. On behalf of all of our amazing crew, including our All-State sideline reporters, Braxton Cutchin, Kevin Stump, and Bree Ramey on productions. For Alan Dietz, I'm Wesley Outland. Good evening from Greensboro. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year for the 79th Annual East-West All-Star Football Game from Jamieson Stadium. Good evening.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe,
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
to provide the music, talk, and sports you love, and to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The following is an exclusive broadcast presentation of the Community Radio Network. We are CRN. More details at wearecrn.com. Like, follow, and share the Community Radio Network via social media and Facebook at CRN Community Radio Network. Also, check us out on X, Instagram, and TikTok at CRN Sports. As always, remember to listen to the games live on your radio dial at 87.9 FM and anywhere worldwide, always at wearecrn.com. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network.